accuses them of playing chicken with national security.
Holding Ukraine's funding hostage to their extreme partisan border policies.
Ahead of a vote on his request for billions more in foreign aid, the president says he's willing to compromise on border issues.
They're more concerned about the border between Ukraine and Russia than they are our United States border and the safety of Americans.
House Homeland Security Committee Chair Tennessee Congressman Mark Green says the president's border proposals would process more people, not stem the flow of migrants. President Biden says Russia's President Putin can't be allowed to take Ukraine. President Putin is making his first trip to the Middle East since the Ukraine invasion, visiting the UAE and Saudi Arabia, which is asking the U.S. not to respond too quickly to attacks in the Red Sea.
The Saudis are seeking to avoid residual escalation from the Israel-Hamas war. The Iranian-backed Houthis have stepped up attacks on shipping lanes in the Red Sea, where U.S. Navy vessels are also located. While the U.S. is pledged to fend off any attack on American vessels, the Saudis are concerned over increased fire over their land. Saudi Arabia, the world's top oil exporter, says it wants to end its own conflicts with Iran and its supporters.
Fox's Gernal Scott, U.S. warships have shot down drones and missiles fired by the Houthis in Yemen. President Biden just signing an executive order aimed at making federal funding more flexible for Native American tribes.
Fundamentally, we believe that tribal leaders know and understand their people best.
White House domestic policy advisor Neera Tanden says this ushers in a new era of self-determination, allowing tribal nations to build and run their own hospitals, schools, and law enforcement agencies the same way other communities use federal dollars. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
You may have to go to court. Cloudy and 37 downtown. All clear on your radar. You've got a low of about 34 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. Prosecutors have added former Governor and Vice President Mike Pence's name to a witness list in an election interference trial. Ryan Hedrick reports.
The case in Georgia is against Pence's former boss, ex-President Donald Trump. Trump says the 2020 election was stolen from him. Pence has repeatedly said the Georgia election was not stolen from him and that he had no right to overturn the results, which is exactly what Trump wanted him to do. Pence has suggested that he would testify against Trump, who is the frontrunner for the 2024 GOP presidential nomination. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Drunk driving is just one of the charges against a man from Mount Vernon in Posey County. State Police Sergeant Todd Ringel says he was arrested last night.
Inside the cab of the pickup truck, officers did observe a bottle of brandy. And it was obvious to the officers that the individual had been consuming that alcohol because there wasn't a whole lot left.
Ringel says he threatened police officers during his arrest and also hurt an officer's hand. He's now in the Posey County Jail. More people taking drugs off the black market are showing up dead in coroner's offices because of a new drug, reports Kurt Darling.
It's been around since the 70s, but bromazepam appears to be making a comeback. It's an opiate that, taken in large enough doses, can be fatal by overdose. Hamilton County Coroner Jeff Jellison says it has many forms, too.
They get it in pill form, powder form, gummy form. It's really being manufactured by black market internet pharmacies.
Talking to Wish TV, 64 Hoosiers in the last year have died with bromazepam in their system. Kirk Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A 3-point win on the road for IU men's basketball last night.
From a defensive standpoint, we got stops and key rebounds when we needed it. I mean, it was a total team effort, I thought.
Head coach Mike Woodson after the win over Michigan. The Hoosiers have now won it 4 in a row. They play Auburn next to try and make it 5 this Saturday. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
Winter may seem like a strange time to replace the windows in your house, but with Window Nation, today is the perfect time. And right now, Window Nation is offering you 50% off all window styles. Plus, you could even get 0% interest for 5 years. With new energy-efficient windows from Window Nation, you'll start saving money instantly on your heating bills and get rid of those annoying cold drafts that are letting your heat out. And in the summer, they'll keep that cool AC in, so you'll save money all year long.
Plus, Window Nation's professional installation means your windows will fit right in your home, treated with care. And with 50% off all style of windows and 0 interest for 5 years, it's time to give Window Nation a look today. Let Window Nation show you all the options to fit your needs and your budget. All you got to do is call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com to get started. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
With traffic on the 5s at 3:05. Good afternoon, Matt Bear.
Good afternoon, Harrison. Westbound 70 at Shadeland Avenue. There is a crash, and there are vehicles all over the place here. Here's the deal. It's westbound 70 at Shadeland Avenue. Right lane blocked, left shoulder blocked, and traffic is backed up to 465. This crash is also mostly blocking the ramp from southbound 465 to westbound 70 like you're coming in to downtown from the east side. So the traffic is getting by on the right shoulder, only coming off that entrance ramp. And again, traffic is stopped back to 465. Updates coming at WIBC Traffic. Traffic sponsored by Wendy's. Indiana, start your engines with Wendy's Hoosier Biscuit Bowl. A fluffy buttermilk biscuit with sausage gravy, seasoned potatoes, and cheddar cheese topped with a freshly cracked egg. At a participating Wendy's for a limited time. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy for the morning, partly cloudy skies this afternoon, and chilly. Today's high only 40. Gradual clearing with breezy conditions overnight, a low of 33. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
Call your wife right now. Tell her to tap that keg. Tell her to start seasoning the wings. Break out the smoker. The fourth GOP primary debate tonight will feature the smallest field yet with just 4 candidates.
It's actually a good thing, though, isn't it?
Yeah. What's that? Where
Smaller the field, the better the debate, right?
Yeah, but Chris Christie's still in there. He's so annoying.
But like Doug's gone and Mike Pence is gone. It's a field of 4 tonight. While it's still 2 people too many, it's still a lot better than what we've seen before.
What do you think? It should be DeSantis and Nikki Haley. Those should be the final 2 standing. Vivek and Chris Christie not making a dent.
Right. They're not bringing in any money. They're not really resonating with a lot of people. Now, these debates have been good to Ramaswamy. It feels like he's good for one zinger every time there's a debate. But the only time you ever really hear from him is during a debate. Nobody's really going to Ramaswamy rallies, and they're not making donations to him. He's really good when he's in front of a camera and he's, bringing the heat at a debate. But other than that, his campaign had a big start, and then it's kind of fizzled a little bit.
Man, the thing is, I like Vivek. So I would vote for Vivek if I thought it would make a difference.
If my options are that remote control or the Democrat, I'm team remote control. But if it's Vivek, then I agree with you. I like some of the things that he said. But for one reason or the other, it just hasn't resonated. But you could say the exact same thing about Ron DeSantis. Yeah. Ron DeSantis had every bit of, momentum heading into this thing, and his campaign never really took off.
Great Florida governor, great policy, great communicator, but and when I say communicator, I'm saying on a big stage and platform and a debate forum, but I really don't ever think he got out there. I mean, he visited all 90-plus counties in Iowa. It just doesn't seem like he's very personable to me. But don't get me wrong, I would vote for him over any one of the Democrats. If it came down to him and Trump, I'm not sure who I'd vote for. I still don't know. Probably DeSantis.
Ron DeSantis is really good at governing. And that's really what this thing should be about. But it's not. And the U.S. presidential election has not been about who's going to be the best governor of our country in a long time. It's been American Idol, right? It's been catchphrases, whether it's hope and change, make America great again, things like that captivate voters. And listen, I know this will probably hurt some feelings of some people, but the morons who are undecided voters, like a couple months before the presidential election, these people that for whatever reason still haven't seen enough information to cast a vote, they're the ones that go with, well, he looks like the kind of guy I could have a beer with. which is stupid as hell because you're never going to have a beer with the President of the United States. Never, ever.
I don't know. There was the beer summit with Obama.
Were you invited?
I was not invited to the beer summit with
Allison,
Obama.
were you invited to the beer summit?
No, I couldn't make it.
You're not going to have a beer with the President of the United States.
Big question is, all right, we get through all this. We get through Iowa. Who does Trump choose as his running mate? Heard a lot of names thrown around, mostly UN Ambassador Nikki Haley.
Nikki Haley, Kristi Noem. Those are the two names that I hear more than anything else. Now, the wild card in all of this, the Hail Mary is Tucker Carlson.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think you can completely rule that out because it's Donald Trump we're talking about here. But I do think he needs a female on that ticket. And whether it's Kristi Noem or Nikki Haley, I promise you, when they have that debate against Kamala Harris, unless a fly lands on somebody's head, they are going to mop the floor with Kamala Harris.
Expect Nikki Haley's opponents tonight to hit out on her for this comment that's circulating. I believe she made it in June, but it's gone viral again. This was from CBS News regarding sex change operations for kids.
Madam Ambassador, another question is what care should be on the table when a 12-year-old child in this country assigned female at birth says, actually, I feel more comfortable living as a boy. What should the law allow the response to be?
Well, I think the law should stay out of it, and I think parents should handle it.
You don't think there should be a law about experimental surgery where doctors are removing appendages from young kids? There shouldn't be a law for 12-year-old Johnny that, my kid's about to turn 12, Hammer. If he comes up to me and says, Dad, I don't think this whole penis thing is working out. I want to be a girl. Some parents are crazy enough to lean into that and go with that. No, there should be a law against that until you turn 18. Sorry.
And even worse than that, I think there are going to be some parents that push that onto their kids.
Sure.
You're actually a girl.
Yes.
But I don't feel like a girl. You're a girl. And if you disagree, you're disobeying with your parents and you're some sort of ist. There are lunatic parents out there that would totally do that. You can't change my mind otherwise.
I bet this gets brought up tonight in one way or the other. Again, that's from June, but you know how it works.
So who's moderating this bad boy tonight?
Who cares? If you're tuning in for the moderators,
that's the kind of extensive breakdown you get on the Hammer and Nigel show.
Honestly, if you're tuning into this debate for the moderators, your priorities are in the wrong place.
I just want somebody that's going to be able to bring the room in if the wheels fall off. Because the second debate, I believe it was a Fox debate, Dana Perino, somebody from Univision, and an old guy. Yeah. And they couldn't get control of the crowd.
Well, it's Megyn Kelly, and she's probably about the biggest name out there. And she was at one point the biggest cable news anchor and or reporter in the industry.
She's done debates before. If you remember, Donald Trump gave her the infamous bleeding out of somewhere comment after the first debate.
And somebody out of the... but I mean, she's a conservative, and she has a daily podcast on Sirius. Somebody from the Washington Free Beacon, which is another conservative outlet, like a lot of investigative reporting. That's a moderator, Eliana Johnson, and then News Nation. This is on News Nation tonight.
Right. So that's who's carrying the debate tonight, News Nation.
Elizabeth Vargas is a longtime member of the mainstream media, from NBC to Good Morning America to ABC. And then you can look for analysis after the debate on News Nation with a friend of the show, Bill O'Reilly.
So that's happening tonight. But last night, the old man, number 45, Donald Trump, did a town hall with Sean Hannity. And Hannity started talking to Donald Trump, and there's chatter that Donald Trump's going to be a dictator if he wins.
Yeah, like Liz Cheney's going around. She's got this new horrible book that she's touting and telling people that...
That's the name of it, Liz Cheney's horrible book.
He's a dictator. He won't... If he loses, if he is elected, he'll never give up the presidency. That kind of talk.
And Hannity...
Threat to democracy kind of thing, right?
Brought that up to Donald Trump last night.
Issue, though, because the media has been focused on this and attacking you under no circumstances. You are promising America tonight. you would never abuse power as retribution against anybody.
Except for day one.
Except
Look,
what?
he's going crazy. Except for day one.
Meaning?
I want to close the border and I want to drill.
That's
drill,
not
drill.
That's not retribution. I'm
going to be, you know, he keeps, we love this guy. He says, you're not going to be a dictator, are you? I said, no, other than day one. We're closing the border and we're drilling. After that, I'm not a dictator.
So that sounds to me like you're going back to the policies when you were president.
So, of course, the headlines come out of there. Donald Trump says he wants to be a dictator.
Donald Trump doesn't deny it. He was asked. He didn't deny it.
I think this may be the first time Donald Trump has gone on record of talking about the health of Joe Biden and whether or not he thinks he can make it to 2024.
Do you think in 11 months he will be their candidate?
I personally don't think he makes it. Okay, I haven't said that. I'm saving it for this big town hall. I personally don't think he makes it. I think he's in bad shape physically. Do you remember when he said, I'd like to take him behind the barn? If he took me behind the barn and I went like this, I believe he'd fall over. But who knows?
Donald Trump going, basically saying if he blew on Joe Biden, he'd fall right over.
Yeah, we haven't heard Biden challenging people to push-up contests lately, have we?
That was his whole thing.
Right.
Back in the day.
Look, fat, you want to do some push-ups? Fat?
So the big question is, as we round out this segment here, is who Sean Hannity asked Donald Trump who would replace Joe Biden if indeed he wasn't the candidate in 2024.
Who do you think would replace him then?
Well, I saw one person on who I actually had a very good relationship with, but I'm sure that it would end very quickly. I saw him in your debate the other night, and he's slick, but he's got no facts. You know, he's got no facts. I thought he did well, considering...
You're talking about Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, considering that he didn't have the facts, I thought he did well. You know, he said, we have the lowest taxes in the country. We have the cleanest streets in the country. And I'm saying, wait a minute, is he talking about the same place? So he'd certainly be one. I guess they say that Kamala would be the odds to be. Because they say if they didn't give it to her, the African-American vote, the black vote, would not go to them. And we just had a poll where I'm at 22 and 25% with the black vote. If we have that, we can call the election over.
I love the crowd's reaction to Kamala. It reminded me of that scene in Animal House where the Deltas are trying to figure out who the new pledges are going to be, and they put the picture of Flounder up there. And you see Belushi go, ah! And everybody throws a beer bottle and boos it. That's what that reminded me of. Matt Baer has a look at the roads.
Multiple vehicle crash coming in on the east side. It's westbound as 70th Shadeland Avenue. Everything's been moved over to the shoulder, but traffic is still very slow through the area and backed up to 465. Also, the off-ramp from southbound 465 to westbound 70. That is slow as part of that crash is on that ramp shoulder. Eastbound 70 out of downtown, stop and go right now from Rural Street to Emerson Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Comcast Business. Start saving with Comcast Business Mobile on the most reliable 5G network. Most reliable based on Root Metrics U.S. report results, vary, not an endorsement. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Hey, do us a favor. If you have any extra money, if you've been blessed in any way this year, make a donation to the WIBC Radiothon. Now, the big broadcast is happening Friday, but we've got virtual kettles going on right now. And any bit that you donate between now and 6 a.m., up to $500 is being matched. So if you go to the Hammer and Nigel Show Facebook and Twitter, there's links there. You can click on my link or you could click on Nigel's link. It doesn't matter. It's all going to the same place. But my sponsor that's matching is Indie Decorative Concrete. Let's get as much in that kettle as we can to help out some Hoosiers in need.
And my good friends at Galaxy Concrete Coatings for your garage floors are stepping up. And they're offering to match donations made to my virtual red kettle up to $1,000.
All right.
Love it. Let's get those donations rolling.
All the money stays here in Central Indy. It doesn't go somewhere else, and the money helps Hoosiers in need. Make those donations. Please help us out. And again, this Friday, we're broadcasting live from Sullivan's for the WIBC Radiothon to benefit the Salvation Army. 39 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. You got to see the before and after photos of my Galaxy Concrete Coatings garage floor. The old garage floor was just awful. If you go to Galaxy Concrete Coatings Indianapolis Facebook page, scroll down to about March when they redid my floor. There's before and after photos. They're incredible. It's night and day. My new Galaxy Concrete garage floor is out of this world, and no, they did not use epoxy. That is the old standard. This is better. They use polyurea. It's the new premium standard for coatings. And don't forget, the manufacturer just upgraded the warranty from 15 years to life. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com, or give them a call, 751-9070.
Have you saved enough? Do you have a plan for Social Security and taxes in retirement? Hey, Casey Weed of Howard Bailey Financial, where our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life through personal and practical financial strategies. That's why we want to give you our Retire with Purpose Toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you can't outlive. Plus, you'll receive a copy of my book, Job Optional. To get your complimentary toolkit, call or text the keyword INFO 42 to 866-482-9559. That's INFO 42 to 866-482-9559.
Howard Bailey Financial is the official wealth management partner of Notre Dame Athletics. Notre Dame Athletics was compensated for this endorsement and is not a current client of Howard Bailey. For more information, please visit howardbailey.com/ND disclosure. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Let me tell you about Travis Barnes, a local guy from Indy, sees what happens on September 11th and decides he needs to do something, so he joins the Marines, goes through basic, gets shipped over to Iraq, does 3 tours in Operation Iraqi Freedom, and through all of this, he learns about the Marine mindset, doing things right, discipline, with only the highest standards. Travis rises up to sergeant, receives multiple combat action medals and citations, survives several IEDs, and becomes combat disabled. So he comes back to Indiana and starts Hotel Tango Distillery. Some of you might have heard of Hotel Tango, but if not, here's the deal. They're an Indianapolis company that produces spirits made with the high standards Travis learned while serving. I've tried their bourbon. I enjoy their bourbon. 94 score from Wine Enthusiast, gold at the San Francisco Spirits Competition, and the best part, under $40. So if you haven't tried it yet, head down to wherever you buy your spirits and pick up a bottle of Hotel Tango. Thanks to Travis for his service, and thanks to Hotel Tango for sponsoring the show. Hotel Tango, distilled with discipline. HotelTangoDistillery.com.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
It's funny watching the debate between DeSantis and Newsom. The red state versus the blue state with Sean Hannity as moderator last week. Newsom was all about Bidenomics. I love it. Bidenomics is working. Meanwhile, Joe Biden, if you've noticed, has stopped mentioning Bidenomics. I don't think it's testing well.
Now, to be fair to Joe Biden, maybe he forgot it was a thing.
Bidenomics hard at work even in the world of movies, Hammer. We'll get to that in just a second. Real quick, though. Macaulay Culkin, a.k.a. Kevin from Home Alone.
Kevin!
He got a start in the Hollywood Walk of Fame with support from his Home Alone mom, Catherine O'Hara. And I want you to listen to Macaulay's voice here. I think he kind of sounds like his brother Kieran Culkin, who plays Roman on Succession. But this is Macaulay Culkin on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
I'd like to thank Brenda. You are absolutely everything. You're not only the best woman I've ever known, you're the best person I've ever known. You've given me just all my purpose. You've given me family. To wrap things up, and in the spirit of the holiday season, I just want to say Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
Yes, that does sound like Roman on Succession.
Yo,
like
you've been watching
on.
it. You've been watching, haven't you?
Yeah, binged it, made it all the way through.
Oh, wow. Okay, so all right, so here's why I bring up Bidenomics and inflation and how prices are just crazy. I mean, I realize the movie was made in 1991, but this is just Kevin's grocery store. Remember his little trip to the grocery store and Home Alone by himself?
Right.
Cost $19.83. Someone on social media calculated it would cost about $68 today. So we're talking like the frozen TV dinner, $5. Loaf of bread, $3. Frozen mac and cheese, $3.50. Saran wrap, half gallon of milk, Tide laundry detergent, toilet paper, half gallon of OJ. The pack of plastic Army Men would cost $9 today.
Now, to be fair, he did have a coupon.
He did have a $1 coupon.
In the first Home Alone.
So that brings Kevin's total to $63.73. Then factor in tax, he's looking around $68. But yes, he did have the $1 coupon.
Hell, the Tide laundry detergent alone would almost be more than the entire sum of the first trip.
Yeah.
Laundry detergent is damn ridiculous right now.
It's crazy.
That's like $13. And in the first movie, the entire trip
was $19.
$19.83. Watched Home Alone this past weekend, actually. First official holiday viewing of Home Alone was this past Saturday.
Will you watch Home Alone 2?
Yes, but I'm not one of these freaks that feels like it's better than the first Home Alone.
No, it's definitely not better than the first Home Alone.
Because there are weirdos out there that try to make that argument, and I'm sorry. You can't do better than the first Home Alone. That's the GOAT of the franchise. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
So what's a good rate on a CD today? Something like 5%? Yeah, and that's the highest it's been in a long time. Well, you know your retirement guy, Bill Demery, could help you do way better, right? Hey, it's Hammer and Nigel. Instead of getting 5%, what if you could get a much better return? Like a return that's averaged 7% per year for the past 10 years. That's 40% better. Let me say that again, 40% better.
Plus, now check this out. You also get an immediate 13% bonus on your investment. And it's all backed by one of the largest insurers in the world. A 13% bonus and a 7% average return. You should call Bill Demery right now. 317-648-5120. 13% bonus. This won't last long. 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, 648-5120. Past performance is no guarantee of future returns.
Denise has been playing jazz for 40 years. Last concert, one of the musicians fell sick with RSV. Respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, is a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems. This time, she's choosing to help protect herself with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo. Abrysvo is a vaccine for the prevention of lower respiratory tract disease caused by respiratory syncytial virus, RSV, in adults 60 years of age and older. Abrysvo is not for everyone and may not protect all who receive the vaccine. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its ingredients. People with a weakened immune system may have a decreased response to Abrysvo. The most common side effects are tiredness, headache, pain at the injection site, and muscle pain. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit abrisvo.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Denny Smith here. Our friends at Sundown Gardens and Miss M's Home and Garden are having a candy cane draw for customers this week. You draw your candy cane to see what you'll save on all interior Christmas decor. You'll save anywhere from 20 to 50% off all interior Christmas decor at Miss M's Home and Garden and Sundown Gardens. They also have live trees, greenery, garland, wreaths, and poinsettias too. Sundown Gardens at 186th Street and Spring Mill Road. Miss M's Home and Garden, State Road 135 south of Whiteland Road.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What the cops found, 37 degrees, cloudy in downtown Indianapolis. Nothing under radar. Low temps drop to about 34 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:30. Drugs and guns found inside a home where a shooting happened Tuesday. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Cops in Indianapolis say they belong to the homeowner who was shot in the back of the head protecting his property early Tuesday morning. A Ring doorbell cam shows a shootout between three men and the unidentified homeowner and his neighbor who had called him to warn him that men were on his property with guns. IMPD says they started questioning the homeowner, became suspicious, carried out a search warrant, and that's when they found the guns and the drugs, but so far, no arrests. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Drunk driving is only one of the charges against a man who was arrested in Posey County last night.
Inside the cab of the pickup truck, officers did observe a bottle of brandy, and it was obvious to the officers that the individual had been consuming that alcohol because there wasn't a whole lot left.
State Police Sergeant Todd Ringel says the man threatened officers while he was being put in cuffs. He's now in the Posey County Jail. Former Vice President and Indiana Governor Mike Pence has been officially called as a witness by prosecutors in the Georgia election interference trial. Pence has said in the past that the election was not stolen, despite claims from former President Donald Trump. Current President Joe Biden is rejecting corruption allegations as Republicans are once again calling for a formal impeachment inquiry.
I'm not going to comment on that. I did not, and it's just a bunch of lies.
You didn't interact with many of their business associates?
I did not. There's lies.
Biden talking with reporters at the White House earlier today. Republicans accused the president of being involved in his son's overseas business dealings while Biden was vice president. The average price you're paying for a gallon of gas in Indiana today, $2.98 per gallon of regular, says GasBuddy.com. That's below the national average of $3.19. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:32.
Denise has been playing jazz for 40 years. Last concert, one of the musicians fell sick with RSV. Respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, is a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems. This time, she's choosing to help protect herself with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrisvo. Abrisvo is a vaccine for the prevention of lower respiratory tract disease caused by respiratory syncytial virus, RSV, in adults 60 years of age and older. Abrisvo is not for everyone and may not protect all who receive the vaccine. Don't get Abrisvo if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its ingredients. People with a weakened immune system may have a decreased response to Abrisvo. The most common side effects are tiredness, headache, pain at the injection site, and muscle pain. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrisvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit abrisvo.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
With traffic at 3:33, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, big crash westbound at 70th Shadewood Avenue. It is on the main part of 70, also on the off-ramp from southbound 465. Everything has been pushed over to the shoulders. We're still stop and go back to 465. Now, eastbound is 70. We have a crash on the off-ramp to Emerson Avenue. That has a slow back to the north split. Traffic sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Stores provide innovative products and services for small business, remote workers and learners, even teachers and parents. Explore more at your local Staples store. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
The forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy for the morning, partly cloudy skies this afternoon and chilly. Today's high only 40. Gradual clearing with breezy conditions overnight, a low of 33. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You people disgust me.
Hammer and Nigel. Hello. My name is Nigel. Hammer's right over there. Former Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, is leaving Congress at the end of the year.
Well, what a terrible Christmas this is going to be.
Now, it does, there's already a paper-thin House GOP majority, and it gets a little tighter with former House Speaker McCarthy.
Do you think
leaving.
Matt Gaetz feels bad about that at all? Because, last couple weeks, we joke about this. George Santos was thrown out, and now McCarthy is strutting out the door. Sounds like there may be a few others that follow his lead that were upset about what happened to him. That thin majority is about to be razor thin for the Republicans.
Kevin McCarthy leaving. Matt, you asked about Matt Gaetz earlier, who was the Gang of Eight, who sort of initiated his ouster as House Speaker because he said he wasn't fulfilling his obligations. Matt Gaetz just posted this on X recently. Kevin just ready?
Yes.
Ready? McLeavin.
That's it.
McCarthy is McLeavin. He just put McLeavin. And of course, people are saying, look, way to reduce the majority. And Matt Gaetz is like, I didn't force him to resign. I just kicked him out of the Speaker of the House role. Nobody's forcing him to resign, but I'm sure he probably has a sour taste in his mouth.
But here's the thing, these politicians, they're kind of like when somebody in the media either goes on strike or quits their job, they put out this passionate statement because they think people really care. I got news for you. There's going to be a day where you and I get fired, Nige. I promise you, I'm not going to put out some sappy, it's just the beginning post for me. Because once you're not in the position of power, most people don't care anymore.
Well, McCarthy saying via the Wall Street Journal, quote, I have decided to depart the House at the end of this year to serve America in new ways. I know my work is only getting started.
There it is. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about Kevin McCarthy anymore once he's not in a position of power. As a matter of fact, I had a chance to speak to literally everyone in the country, Nige.
Yeah.
Here are their thoughts on Kevin McCarthy's heartfelt op-ed in the Wall Street Journal.
Well, bye.
That's it. That's it.
A nice tombstone reference.
Thank you.
Well, bye. So my guess is, yes, he's going to be a political pundit, some sort of talking head on CNN or MSNBC or maybe even Fox News.
He'll end up somewhere not having a real job. I promise you that. We have an update from a story yesterday. So we were playing some highlights of that Senate hearing, and Marsha Blackburn, she's the senator from Tennessee, Rocky Top, volunteer state. She's got a problem with the lack of information coming from the FBI about Jeffrey Epstein, the flight logs, and who was going down to Pedophile Island.
She's trying to subpoena the flight logs.
Right.
And she was grilling FBI Director Chris Wray yesterday is the audio that we had, right?
Correct. But Dick Durbin, he's the senator from the great state of Illinois, which, by the way, that also sounds like a disease you get from spring break. Dick Durbin, he's the guy that's trying to dodge a lot of this stuff about Jeffrey Epstein, which is interesting in itself. So Hillary Vaughn, she's a reporter for Fox News. I believe she's Mrs. Peter Doocy. She's the one that kind of chases down some of these scumbag Democrats like Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, basically wanting them to comment on their own words. So she chased down Dick Durbin yesterday, asking him why we can't get action in regards to Jeffrey Epstein.
Chairman Durbin, can I ask you a quick question? Why won't you subpoena Jeffrey Epstein's flight logs?
So who are you?
Hillary Vaughn with Fox.
With Fox, of course. I don't know anything about his flight logs.
But why won't you subpoena them? Why don't you want to know?
I know the issue. I know who Epstein was, but I certainly don't know anything about the issue.
Well, he was charged with sex trafficking, so why don't you want to know who was utilizing his private plane?
Never been raised by anyone.
Well, Senator Blackburn has wanted to subpoena them, and there hasn't been a vote in your committee.
Said a word to me. not a word.
But aren't you curious, like, what high-profile or powerful people might be closeted predators and pedophiles? Doesn't that concern you?
Of course.
So why won't you subpoena them if you can?
It's the first time anyone has raised it. Thank you, Fox.
Okay, answer the question.
Why won't you do it? Yeah, it's the first time I'm hearing of it. What are you talking about? No, we just played audio of Marsha Blackburn talking about it, and I believe Jesse Waters from Fox News had a little bit more to say on this conversation.
Why is Senator Dick Durbin covering up for Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein's a dead child trafficker. And Senator Marsha Blackburn tried subpoenaing Jeffrey Epstein's flight log earlier today, and Senator Dick Durbin blocked it. Why can't we see who was on his jet? Who's Dick Durbin protecting? I assume Durbin isn't protecting a dead pedophile because he's a pedophile and he's dead, and they got a subpoena to go through Melania's underwear drawer, so you should be able to subpoena the Epstein flight logs.
No, Durbin isn't protecting Epstein. He's protecting friends and travel companions of Epstein.
I like the dramatic music that was behind Jesse.
I don't know
there,
where
too.
that was from. That wasn't from directly from Fox News, but that added an element of drama.
A little creepiness with the mood music in the background. But you're right. If you're not going to answer questions about predators, preying on young women, then damn, you're almost complicit, right? If you have if you have the power to help prevent this or lock some of these people away and you don't do anything, my God, who are you protecting?
The person asking for the Epstein travel logs is Senator Marsha Blackburn. She's a Republican. The person that is keeping them locked away and is blocking that subpoena, Dick Durbin, Democrat.
And as I've said a million times, and I'll say it again, if Dick Durbin thought the list of people going to Epstein Island was Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, Matt Gaetz, all these high-profile Republicans, do you think he'd be putting a few subpoenas out then?
Absolutely.
I promise you he would be. If you're looking for a reason to drink tonight, Nige, as if this debate tonight wasn't enough.
I'm going to need to drink just to get through it.
Happy 66th birthday to the Love Gov, Andrew Cuomo.
Oh man, all the Cuomo sexuals out there when he was governor. He had the ladies in a tizzy.
He did.
He wore he's got the nipple rings, right?
Wore a tight shirt, showing off the nipple rings.
Muscular build.
People wanted him to run for president because they loved his COVID pressers so much. He won a Emmy Award for his COVID press conferences.
That's right.
A TV Emmy Award.
Wrote a book on how to be a leader through COVID.
And then we found out later on he was throwing elderly grandparents back into the nursing homes with other COVID patients, killing a lot of elderly people.
Thousands.
And Janice Dean, the weather forecaster for Fox News, I believe it was her in-laws that were basically passed away because of the incompetence of Andrew Cuomo. And then his brother, Fredo, started having him on his shows. They were having wacky brother time on the air. But when all that stuff about COVID started coming out, that's when he stopped appearing on CNN.
Well, and then there was the sexual abuse, harassment accusations as well.
Oh, there's a lot of those. The Love Gov has got allegations left and right. Judge Janine, your thoughts?
You have no right to ask an employee about her sexual likes and dislikes, pervert.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Yeah, my mom just had Window Nation windows installed in her house. She says they look beautiful. The whole experience was super, according to my mom. I have Window Nation windows. They keep the cold air out and the warm air in. Now is the time to replace those old drafty windows with 0% for 5 years. 0% financing for 5 years with Window Nation.
If you haven't called Window Nation just to have a conversation with one of their amazing staff members, you're doing yourself a disservice. At least call and talk and lock this deal in, even if you're just thinking about getting new windows, because this deal is a game changer. 0% interest for 5 years and half off all style of windows. And the more windows you buy, the more free ones you get because there's no limit. 866-90-NATION. Talk to a staff member at Window Nation. Lock the deal in. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Are your health insurance premiums making you sick? George and Megan at yourcoverage.net can help. George and Megan have helped countless individuals and families save 30 to 60% on health insurance with superior coverage. George recently saved a family of 4 $800 a month with the Aetna Network $0 deductible and $0 doctor office copay plan. This is not a government-sponsored health insurance plan. So if you're uninsured, recently lost your job, on COBRA, or are paying extremely high rates for Obamacare or your work coverage, George and Megan will help you if you meet the flexible guidelines for health insurance. Yourcoverage.net will provide you the best coverage at the lowest rate. Their goal is to give you peace of mind and the utmost in healthcare. Go to yourcoverage.net and see for yourself, or better yet, call George and Megan at 1-800-491-5500. That's 1-800-491-5500. Or go to yourcoverage.net. That's yourcoverage.net, a premium personalized healthcare plan managed and designed by you, not the government.
You only have one heart, so let's keep it near everyone it beats for. Franciscan Health is leading the way as the only hospital in Indiana to be recognized as one of HealthGrade's 100 best hospitals for cardiac care and coronary intervention in 2024. We're delivering award-winning heart care in your neighborhood, near everyone you love, because our greatest reward is caring for you. Learn more about our compassionate, patient-focused approach to heart care. Visit us at franciscanhealth.org/heartcare.
Do you have a crawl space? Do you know what's in your crawl space? Hi, I'm Adam Swain with Swain Co. Crawl Space and Basement Repair, a real local Indiana family-owned crawl space and basement repair contractor. Protect your family and your home from your unhealthy crawl space by calling Indy's most trusted, award-winning experts for a free crawl space consultation at 317-407-1868 or SwainCoLLC.com. And don't forget to ask about our easy, no-interest, no-payment financing.
Do you need furnace or heat pump service and need to find a local, well-trained expert you can trust like Family Heating and Air Conditioning? We'll find that American Standard Air Dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
Life is a collection of moments that last forever, so make them matter and make them count with a symbol of everlasting love. A diamond from Pierce Jewelers. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
Hey, we're pretty social people at WIBC. You can find us all over social media. See what we're up to on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. We're never more than just away. Just search for 93 WIBC.
Coming up 4:35, here in a little less than an hour, Bill O'Reilly is going to join us. Always awesome when Bill O'Reilly calls into the program. We'll pick his brain about this debate tonight. Maybe even the DeSantis-Gavin Newsom debate that was a week ago. Lot to get to with Bill. That's coming up at 4:35. Right now, Matt Baer has a look at the roads.
Northwest side of stall, eastbound 465 after the interchange of 865 before Michigan Road. And the right lane is blocked. This has a stop back to West 86th Street. Also has a stop on eastbound 865. Looking at a crash on the south side, it is southbound 65 on the off-ramp to Southport Road. The left exit lane is blocked. Eastbound is 70 stop and go from the north split out to Emerson Avenue. That's because of a crash on the exit ramp. And westbound 70 is Shade Avenue. Those crashes are clear. Traffic sponsored by Pierce Jewelers in Carmel. Whether you choose a mined or lab-grown diamond, let a Pierce Jewelers diamond engagement ring be that symbol that says, I love you. Remember, shop local, shop smart. Shop Pierce Jewelers in Carmel. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Keeping our eye on this shooting at UNLV in Las Vegas. Fox reporting that the suspect in that shooting near the university is dead. The suspect is dead. Don't have any other information. As soon as we get it, we will pass that on to you. 39 right now at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Coming up after 4 o'clock, Hammer. One of the more despicable members of the squad.
You're going to have to be more specific.
This person has had to walk back some comments, shall we say. We will get to that after 4 o'clock. But right now, there is this idea I want to run past you. It's called the 85% rule.
Okay.
So this says this rule means instead of giving your maximum effort, loosen up a little and give 85% instead. That keeps you more flexible, more present, helps you be more creative, and keeps you from burning out. Are we good with the 85% rule?
No, that sucks. So what we're supposed to do, according to this rule that's going viral on social media, is come in here, turn our microphones on every afternoon, and just kind of do okay.
Yeah.
Not try to do the best we can. That sucks.
I mean, I believe an 85 when I was in high school was a grade of like what? Like a B minus, C plus?
It was a B
So
for
the B?
us. Yeah, mid B.
Okay.
90s were A's, 80s were B's.
Where the hell? Who came up with this rule?
I'm glad you asked. Carl Lewis came up with this.
What? The Olympic, the sprinter?
Yes. This is something Carl Lewis said way back in the day, and a current generation is just now finding it and applying it to their day-to-day occupations. Because Carl Lewis said he would start his races by only giving 85%. And then he would crank things up as needed, and he had a little something extra in the tank while the other competitors were wearing down because they started at 100% and they're losing a little bit of juice.
Okay. I could maybe get with this explanation. He was pacing himself, basically.
Right. Kind of like a racehorse sometimes in like the Kentucky Derby. You know, the horses that get out to the fast start, they run out of juice, and the horse that paces himself and then hits the switch wins the race.
Okay, so that works in his line, in his industry, in his sport. That philosophy works. I just don't know if you could translate into a radio personality or a business executive.
Do you want your surgeon to have the mindset that, all right, I'm going to open your chest up, I'm going to operate on your heart, but I'm only going to give 85% at the very beginning.
But by the end of this, I'll be giving 100%. But you only have 70% of my attention at the beginning of your open heart surgery.
So what do you think Carl Lewis is best known for? Olympic athlete, the guy behind the 85% rule, or quite possibly the best national anthem ever recorded?
Oh, say, can you see? And the Rockets, red flag. I'll make up for it now. For the land of the free.
What percentage of effort do you think he was giving there during that performance?
That couldn't even be 85. There's no way that was 85%.
I mean, I feel like he was trying to give 85%, but I think 40 is probably his peak percentage during that song.
So I'm thinking about this because tomorrow is the championship matchup of Biden Madness.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to announce the winner coming up in just a little bit of the latest head-to-head Final Four matchup, and tomorrow is the final. I feel like somebody should sing the national anthem, and I'm leaning toward Carl Lewis. There are some other anthems we can choose. Roseanne, we can go Fergie. Marvin Gaye once did a national anthem where I think people made love and got pregnant during. It was a very sexual national anthem. But I'm leaning toward Carl Lewis being the one that brings that to us tomorrow. If you're a Taco Bell fan, like I am, this is good news. The double-decker taco back at Taco Bell for a limited time. I'm excited about this, but I'm fat. So, in honor of Taco Bell making this decision, here's great moments in Taco Bell history. This is when an Alabama Taco Bell burned to the ground, and some very upset people in the community had a candlelight vigil.
We're just out here giving remembrance. I mean, I think it was the best Taco Bell in Montgomery. I can't eat here.
I felt like I lost a family member.
Well, I'm hoping we get closure tonight and we can move on to the next cause. But we're here supporting Taco Bell tonight, and that's what's important.
I'm hurt. My feelings are hurt. I got to go all the way to Perry Hill to get some Taco Bell. Hurts my feelings.
Her feelings were hurt that the Taco Bell burned to the ground. And the local TV station in Alabama, they sent a reporter to cover the candlelight vigil, and the reporter tried to be really cute and put in like taco puns and plays on words.
Really?
Grieving in not so average way. Some didn't want to talk about it. Talk about the things you do for the ones you love.
Now you're just doing a disservice. Now that's a slap in the face.
You're making fun of the people that are mourning the loss of the Taco Bell.
What would you think about me if you turned on the news and you saw that I was at a candlelight vigil for a Taco Bell that burned down?
I might high five you.
Coming up next, we have an update on that squad member that's having to walk some stuff back, and Bill O'Reilly at 4:35. Come on back.
Here's something for all you guys that haven't gotten your special someone a holiday gift yet. This Christmas, Pajamagram has your back with a deluxe gift set for her. A one-and-done luxurious present. This gift set includes the Smooth Seduction satin nightie and robe, plus a free satin eye mask, all wrapped in an elegant satin keepsake bag. Yeah, you heard that right. A one-and-done luxurious present, all at Pajamagram.com.
That's 4 gifts delivered right to your door. Ready to go under the tree, silky, sensuous, glides over the skin, designed to make her feel amazing, and you'll like it too. If you ask me, the Smooth Seduction Satin gift set, that is your ticket to a very nice winter season, if you know what I'm saying. Don't wait. Get it before it sells out. Go to Pajamagram.com. Pajamagram.com. That's the Smooth Seduction Satin gift set at Pajamagram. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
I can't wait for what's next, even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Pixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist-prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
The holiday season is here, and your shopping begins and ends at Premier Arms in Brownsburg. 3754 South Green Street, PremierArms.com. You've got the firearms with Premier Arms, the accessories, all at fantastic prices, new and used firearms, and of course, PA Jewelers, the jewelry store inside Premier Arms with the one-of-a-kind jewelry selection, the diamonds, the gold, the silver, the gemstones, everything you want this Christmas season. Get a gift card today to Premier Arms. It is the gift that they will love this holiday season. PremierArms.com.
If you think quality healthcare is out of reach for your small business, you have more options than you think. Jim Shoemaker can develop a customized plan that makes coverage for your team a reality. Jim understands the challenges of small businesses and can help you save hundreds every month, just like he did for Duvall & Son Garage.
We began working with Jim Shoemaker. He helped secure a great health insurance plan for our company and save us a lot of money.
Call or text today, 317-409-3963. Jim Shoemaker is a MedMutual insurance broker.
With the holidays upon us, the increase in traveling, shopping, and connecting online also heightens the need to protect your identity and finances with LifeLock. Identity thieves see this time of year as an opportunity to drain your accounts, open new loans in your name, and damage your financial future. LifeLock detects and alerts you to threats you might miss on your own. Don't let the busy holiday season catch you off guard. Save up to 25% off your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com.
My husband, Bob, has Parkinson's, and he needs more help now, and I need more support to help him. Thanks to Indiana Pathways for Aging, we're getting the support we need to help him right here at home, like with meal prep and basic personal care, and even respite support for me.
Pathways provides Hoosier Medicaid members, age 60 and over, support for care their way, so they can live life their way. The program begins in summer of 2024. Call 87-PATHWAY-4 or visit in.gov/pathways.
Coming up in 2 minutes, Ryan Hedrick reports on Mike Pence's name being included on a witness list. A man accused of drunk driving has been arrested in Posey County, and then arrest made in a fatal hit-and-run from Terre Haute Tuesday night. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
A possible campus shooting in Las Vegas. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Police responding to what they called a confirmed active shooter at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
I didn't hear much, but we got an alert. All text and messages at the same time. They said they put the building in lockdown. They shut all the curtains. Everyone moved to one side of the room.
He's one of the students evacuated from the Student Union building. Las Vegas police posting earlier that there appeared to be multiple victims, then posting that a suspect was contained. They are now saying the suspect is dead. No word yet on how or who it was. And again, no confirmation on any shooting victims. The U.S. Senate is set to vote at this hour on a procedural hurdle for a supplemental package that includes aid for Ukraine, as President Biden warns lawmakers about consequences if there isn't more U.S. support.
Russian President Vladimir Putin will not stop at Ukraine if his invasion is successful, President Biden says.
And history's going to judge harshly those who turn their back on freedom's cause. We can't let Putin win.
The president wants Congress to approve a more than $100 billion spending bill that includes aid for Ukraine and Israel. Negotiations have stalled over including border and immigration provisions.
Republicans think they get everything they want without any bipartisan compromise. That's not the answer. That's not the answer.
Still, the president says he is willing to offer more on border policy.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Earlier today, the Justice Department announcing the first U.S. war crimes charges against 4 Russian soldiers accused of kidnapping and torturing an American during last year's invasion of Ukraine. DOJ is also investigating Hamas over the kidnapping and killing of Americans during the October attack in Israel. On Wall Street, stocks finish lower. The Dow down 70 points at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Considered a witness. Cloudy, 37 degrees in the circle. No rain on radar. Low temperatures drop to the lower 30s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. Former Vice President and Indiana Governor Mike Pence has found his name on a witness list.
In the Georgia election interference case, I'm Ryan Hedrick. The case against Pence's former boss, ex-President Donald Trump, means he could testify against Trump. Prosecutors say the same list Pence is on includes 150 other people. Pence withdrew from the 2024 election and is showing a willingness to testify against Trump, who claims the 2020 election was stolen from him. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC, Mobile News.
The bottle of brandy was nearly empty when state police found it in the back of a truck being driven by a man from Posey County last night. Making the arrest was not a smooth process.
Unfortunately, the individual became belligerent. He forcefully resisted the trooper. Thankfully, a couple other officers were nearby. They were able to help contain him.
State Police Sergeant Todd Ringel says the man is only 20 years old and faces several charges, including one for drunk driving and another for underage drinking. An arrest made in a fatal hit-and-run in Terre Haute from Tuesday. 78-year-old Gary Clark died after he was hit by a Dodge Avenger while crossing US 41. The driver fled, but police say he's now in handcuffs. Cedric Rosette faces a charge for leaving the scene of a fatal wreck. More people taking drugs off the black market are showing up dead in coroner's offices because of a new drug. Kurt Darling has the story.
It's been around since the 70s, but bromazolame appears to be making a comeback. It's an opiate that, taken in large enough doses, can be fatal by overdose. Hamilton County Coroner Jeff Jellison says it has many forms, too.
They get it in pill form, powder form, gummy form. It's really being manufactured by black market internet pharmacies.
Talking to Wish TV, 64 Hoosiers in the last year have died with bromazolame in their system. Kirk Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
So I have been in the operating room most of my career, watching people have orthopedic surgery, watching people get knees replaced, hips replaced, shoulders fixed, and I knew there had to be a better way.
That's Dr. Daniel Zuckerman, a medical director for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in non-invasive regenerative treatment
treatments for pain relief.
I see so many people who could have been helped before they got to the operating room if only they had known about regenerative medicine.
QC Kinetics, a natural alternative that uses your body's own healing properties to help restore and repair damaged joint tissue, providing long-lasting relief without drugs, surgery, or downtime.
Well, it feels great when I do get to see somebody who we help, who I know I kept out of the operating room. It's amazing how we change people's lives without surgery.
Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, eastbound 70 stop and go traffic out of downtown through the east side from the north split to Emerson Avenue. That's because of a crash on the off-ramp to Emerson Avenue. Trouble on the south side. It is a crash on the ramp from southbound 65 to Southport Road. The ramp is open. There is a slowdown back to stop 11. Still on the south side, eastbound 465 stop and go traffic. I-72, the White River, and northbound at 465. The stall cleared. Still slow. 86th Street up to 865. Traffic sponsored by Isaacs and Isaacs. Dogfight injury? Call Isaacs and Isaacs. The law firm Indiana has trusted for over 20 years. They'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve. Click and get help quick at WeWin.com. That's WeWin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy for the morning, partly cloudy skies this afternoon, and chilly. Today's high only 40. Gradual clearing with breezy conditions overnight, a low of 33. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
Okay, Hammer, we got an update on a story from a day or two ago. So you remember one of the more despicable members of the squad, Representative Jayapal from Washington State, went on CNN.
Is she an official squad member now?
She's right up there with those crazy progressives. I mean, she's a founding member, I feel like, almost in certain circles. But she went on CNN when was asked, rightfully so by Dana Bash, about calling out Hamas for using rape as a weapon of war against the Israelis. There are so many women's groups out there right now that have not talked about this at all. And basically, squad member Jayapal said, quote, well, I think we have to be balanced about bringing in the outrages against the Palestinians. So Jayapal tries to turn this whole thing into an anti-Israel rant. And to her credit, Dana Bash didn't let her off the hook.
With respect, I was just asking about the women, and you turned it back to Israel.
Oh, yeah.
I'm asking you about Hamas. In fact,
I already answered your question, Dana. I said it's horrific, and I think that rape is horrific, sexual assault is horrific. I think that it happens in war situations. Terrorist organizations like Hamas obviously are using these as tools. However, I think we have to be balanced about bringing in the outrages against Palestinians. 15,000 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli airstrikes, 3/4 of whom are women and children.
And it's horrible, but you don't see Israeli soldiers raping.
Well, Dana, I think we're not. I don't want this to be the hierarchy of oppression.
It's got to be balanced. She's using a number, 15,000 Palestinians. It's Hamas propaganda.
So you're not allowed to criticize Hamas or the Palestinians in any way.
Hamas are freedom. I mean, so many progressives are so quick to point out that Israelis and the IDF are the ones committing war crimes.
Okay.
And that the Hamas are the freedom fighters. Do we have more from Dana and Jayapal?
You are hearing from Hamas leaders over and over again that the brutal massacre of the 1,200 Israeli civilians was just the beginning, just a rehearsal, and that they want to continue to do it over and over again. So a ceasefire would keep that brutal terrorist regime in place in Gaza.
I don't think that's true.
Yes, it is true. There was a ceasefire going on when October 7th happened. You moron, you ignoramus. Well, couple days fast forward, Hammer, she's walked it all back after getting bashed, issuing this statement saying, quote, that her comment about balance was not about rape and not intended to minimize rape and sex assault in any way.
She was asked point blank by Dana Bash about sexual assault and rape. We all heard it.
It was about recognizing the tremendous pain and trauma of so many Israelis, Palestinians in this terrible war. I mean, she talks about the pain and trauma. She doesn't talk about the war crime itself, and neither do other dozens of women's organizations. Hell, it took UN Women more than 50 days, I think, to open up about this subject. It's crazy beyond belief. I mean, there was an awful massacre October 7th, hostages taken, women raped in front of their families, men killed, babies killed, and somehow Hamas are the freedom fighters. Hamas, they're pro-Hamas demonstrations all throughout the country and the world.
Listen, I don't tell anybody how to live their lives, but if you're wondering who the worst person in the room is, it's the person that's trying to make a case that the rapists aren't that bad. That's a little free advice from me to you. That's my TED Talk right there. If you're ever in a room and you're wondering who the a-hole is or a-holes are, it's those trying to justify that the rapists aren't that bad.
So we have these anti-Israel, pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas demonstrations going on college campuses all across the country, sometimes getting very aggressive with counter-protesters, with pro-Israel people. We had the situation at a college, I believe in New York, where they told the Jews that were in there to go hide in the classrooms of the cafeteria because the Palestinian protesters were trying to get in. We have that situation where the Jewish high school teacher was trapped in her own classroom for 5 hours because some of the Palestinian students saw her at a pro-Israel rally. So, and then we had yesterday, we played clips of the student at Penn, right? Speaking out about what's been going on.
He felt like he had to have a press conference because his side of the story is not being told. It's all one-sided on some of these college campuses. They're allowing these pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas people to get away with pretty much anything they want to, and a lot of these Jewish students are being targeted.
So it's very difficult for Representative Elise Stefanik from New York to get the presidents of Harvard, MIT, and Penn to say it's not okay to call for the genocide of Jews at a hearing on campus and anti-Semitic protests. Let's start here with MIT. This is Representative Stefanik saying, like, look, it's against the rules there at your college to call for the genocide of Jews. Let's start with MIT.
At MIT, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate MIT's code of conduct or rules regarding bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
If targeted at individuals, not making public statements.
Yes or no? Calling for the genocide of Jews does not constitute bullying and harassment?
I have not heard calling for the genocide for Jews on our campus.
But you've heard chants for intifada.
I've heard chants, which can be anti-Semitic depending on the context.
By the way, listen to that word she just said. That last word she said, context. You're gonna be hearing from a couple of other presidents of high-profile colleges and universities here in a second. You're gonna hear the word context a lot. But I think it's funny when she says, is a call for a genocide of Jews. Is that allowed? Is that considered bullying? And only when targeted certain people is when she said.
Bending herself in a pretzel.
Only when targeting certain groups of people. I would say calling for the genocide of Jews targeting a group of people or an individual or a group of people. It doesn't matter.
So from the same speech that I gave earlier, if you're wondering who the a-hole in the room is, it's the person justifying rape. I will give you this follow-up speech. Calling for the genocide of anyone is probably hate speech.
Let's continue. This is Representative Elise Stefanik from New York grilling the presidents of Harvard, MIT, and Penn about the calls for genocide of Jews on campuses. Let's go with Penn this time.
Ms. McGill, at Penn, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Penn's rules or code of conduct? Yes or no?
If it is directed and severe or pervasive, it is harassment.
So the answer is yes.
It is a context-dependent decision, Congresswoman.
It's a context-dependent decision. That's your testimony today. Calling for the genocide of Jews is depending upon the context. That is not bullying or harassment. This is the easiest question to answer yes, Ms. McGill.
Stefanik is just undressing these lunatic presidents.
As she should.
Let's wrap it up with Harvard.
And Dr. Gay, at Harvard, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
It can be, depending on the context.
Come on!
What's the context?
Targeted as an individual. Targeted at an individual.
It's targeted at Jewish students, Jewish individuals. Do you understand your testimony is dehumanizing them? Do you understand that dehumanization is part of anti-Semitism? I will ask you one more time. Does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
Again, it depends on the context.
It does not depend on the context. The answer is yes, and this is why you should resign. These are unacceptable answers across the board.
Boo that woman. Boo!
Depends on the context. If you're targeting an individual, yes. You're targeting Jewish students with that phrase. On campus, repeated over and over and over again.
Like, what context makes it okay? If you're joking, hey, hope there's a genocide coming up. Elbow him a little bit. Is that context okay? That is so ridiculous. These people are lunatics. Like, I've got a Harvard Law sweatshirt. I used to wear it when I would go bar hopping in Beech Grove. And I don't even want to wear it anymore. I just want to throw the thing in the trash can. It's not even worth the joke anymore. All right, Matt Baer, what's going on?
Eastbound is 70 stop and go out of downtown from the North Split out to Emerson Avenue. There's a crash on the exit ramp to Emerson. It's open, but it is partially blocked. Southbound 65 leading into the split stop and go 21st. And then we look at northbound 465 on the northwest side stop and go traffic from 86 to 865. South side, southbound 465, full house from 70 to the White River. Traffic sponsored by Comcast Business. Start saving with Comcast Business Mobile on the most reliable 5G network. Most reliable based on Root Metrics U.S. report. Results vary, not an endorsement. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
We've got Bill O'Reilly at 4:35. We've got Biden Madness coming up around 4:50. We are jam-packed. Coming up next, though, a fun and spirited round of Is This Anything? It's 39 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center here on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
I'm an American Standard customer. I use American Standard dealers. I have American Standard equipment in my house because there's lots of things I've got to be worried about this winter, and my heat going out is not one of those things. Here's Hammer to tell you about one of those awesome American Standard dealers in Indy.
How about Family Heating and Air Conditioning, the Morris family and their staff ready to help you out this fall. You could call Rachel, you could call Marcus, or you could call Malia today to make sure that furnace is safe and ready to roll for when the cold, nasty weather comes in. Family Heating and Air always encourages you to call them for a free second opinion. If you've already got a quote from another company and something doesn't look right, call Family Heating and Air because nobody takes care of you like family. 317-577-8077. 577-8077. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-593-4411. 800-593-4411. 800-593-4411.
Hey, it's Rob. I started losing hair around my crown and my hairline was starting to recede. I went to We Grow Hair Indy and they helped grow my hair back. My friend Dave First, a sports broadcaster for over 20 years, also struggled with hair loss. Dave, what happened?
My thinning hair was bothering me. For me, I'm in the public eye. I'm a dad also, and I want to look and feel my best. And if I'm going to do something about my hair, I want to go with the best. We Grow Hair Indy. They really set the standard.
Dave, that's amazing. I had the same procedure, multi-unit hair grafting transplants, which gives you more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Call 317-522-2995 for your free hair and scalp evaluation. Find out if hair transplants or PRP is right for you.
If you're thinking about this, don't waste your time or money. Go to the experts.
Call 317-522-2995, 522-2995, or visit WeGrowHairIndy.com, the gold standard for hair restoration.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Hey, there's a well cleaning special now at C&J. Preventive maintenance works, so call C&J at 317-852-WELL or cjforwater.com.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Hammer, how do we play Is This Anything?
I will run some stories by you. You break down all the information and give us a verdict. Is the story in question anything or not?
Easy enough.
Is this anything? A candidate running for the city council in Rainier, Washington, lost by one single vote.
Oh, no.
And it turns out that candidate didn't vote for himself. Here is Damian Green talking about why he refused to vote for himself, and Ryan Roth getting the confirmation after the recount that he had officially won the spot on the city council.
I didn't feel comfortable voting for myself. I thought it was kind of narcissistic, so I didn't.
We have no changes to the results. It looks like Mr. Roth unofficially is leading, and so it become official this afternoon at 4 o'clock during our canvassing board meeting.
Awesome.
He didn't want to be narcissistic. I mean, I got news for you. You want to be a politician. You want to be on the city council. You're a narcissist by definition.
Right.
And you're doing politics wrong, dude. That's not the way it works. You're not narcissistic if you vote for yourself. You think Donald Trump went in the voting booth and voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016? This guy's pretty dumb.
He didn't leave it blank, I promise you that.
So, I mean, you tell me. I mean, you know the way it works. You're supposed to go in there. If you're running for office of any kind, you're allowed to vote for yourself.
And what message does that send to the people who voted for you?
Right.
If you're not even going to vote for yourself, if you're not confident enough to vote for yourself, why should we put you on the city council? Maybe the fine people of Rainier, Washington dodged a bullet with this loser. Is this anything? A woman took to social media to explain that she is dumping her boyfriend because he refused to get her toilet paper when she was using the can and ran out. Here is Jess talking about the incident.
I'm breaking up with the guy I'm dating because of what he did to me while I was on the toilet the other day. And I'm not joking. Like, I'm being so serious right now. So I'm at his house. There's no toilet paper. I'm like, damn. Hey, babe, could you please grab me some toilet paper? He said, no. I already told you that bathroom's out of toilet paper. Sorry.
I think I need more context because this guy may have dodged a bullet. If I'm dating someone and it's a new relationship and she's in my bathroom blowing it up, okay, you know.
But what if you didn't have any TP in there though?
Like he warned her. He warned her. He's like, yeah, there's no toilet paper in there.
Well, who has a bathroom with no toilet paper and you have somebody come over to the house? That's a woman. No matter what she does, she's probably going to need some toilet paper.
I got a buddy of mine that I was his wingman, and we went over to this chick's house, and he got up and, he just kind of wanted me there, and then he like disappeared for 15 minutes. I looked like it's just me and this girl I barely even know. And he goes, dude, she's out of toilet paper. She's texting me, right? And so I go, okay, do you want me to ask her where the toilet paper is? No. And then
this is all like happening in real time.
This is in real time, yes. He ended up using one of her feminine napkins.
Okay. Problem solver.
Very resourceful.
Some MacGyver pooper. That's what he is. He's a MacGyver pooper.
That is a true story that I will never forget. And needless to say, that relationship didn't really go anywhere.
So what did you do for those 15 minutes while he's in there trying to figure out what's going on?
I think we were watching in like a night Colts game or something like that. So I was maybe just trying to make small talk. And then after about 10 minutes, I realized kind of what was going on. And then I looked at my phone, and that's when I got the text.
Did you tell her at any point?
No, he told me not to on the text. No,
I know, but you're kind of an a-hole. So I figured, hey, listen, I'm not supposed to say anything, but he's in there dropping bombs and there's no toilet paper. What do you suggest?
What if she said, I got some maxi pads under the sink. Just try those. It's fine.
Hey, better than nothing, man. Better than nothing. Is this anything? A YouTuber who purposely crashed a plane in California to get clicks on his video is now getting prison time.
Good.
Trevor Jacob has been sentenced to 6 months in federal prison for obstructing a federal probe. Now, here is a clip from the video of his crash. He bailed out with a parachute and let the plane crash over an unpopulated area.
Oh my gosh. Get me out of this. I guess I should probably document what's going on. I cut my finger pretty bad, got my elbow. I'm just so happy to be alive.
And so he pretended like the plane crashed when in reality he did it on purpose.
Right.
And
he knew he was going to crash the plane.
Have fun in prison. 6 months in federal, pound me in the bleep prison.
Right.
YouTubers wanting attention and clicks and likes. Talk about narcissistic. Oh, my dear Lord. And I forget about, he did crash the plane over unpopulated terrain. You don't know, there could have been another plane in the sky. There could have been somebody hunting in this field that he crashed in. You put your life in danger, you put other lives in danger, dude, just for a little bit of attention on YouTube because you're a quote-unquote YouTuber. Shut up.
You crashed a plane for YouTube clicks. What the hell is wrong with you? Is this anything? A Georgia man is claiming that his smartwatch saved his life when he fell during a hike. The watch instantly recognized what was happening and assisted him in calling first responders. Here he is telling his story, which began when his dogs got startled.
They got spooked, knocked me down, and then dragged me off the trail. I realized I couldn't move and I couldn't get up, and I was in a lot of pain. I couldn't even get to the phone because my phone was in my pocket, which I was laying on. Once the call was made into 911, they stayed on with me until emergency services showed up.
Yeah, I'm telling you, technology, that guy would have been dead 20 years ago. He'd just have been able to lay there and nobody would have known where he was and he wouldn't have been able to move. I'm telling you, this is kind of the same thing similar happened to my wife's mom. She didn't get in a wreck or anything. She dropped her phone like violently. I don't know. She just like went flying out of her purse or flying out of her bag. And then the next thing you know, the phone called 911 by itself.
Wow.
The cops showed up at the house.
Wow.
She was like, hello? Because somebody was calling her. It was 911. Oh, no, I just accidentally dropped my phone. And a cop stopped by just to make sure, which is kind of reassuring.
Was the cop cool with everything?
Yeah. And she was mortified. But that's the kind of, there's a way you can disable that technology. But especially if you're an older person, use that. Keep it on. Falling and I can't get up.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Hey, the only real estate agent, should I say real estate expert that I trust to sell my house or find me a new one, Mark Deedle. Matt in Shelbyville knows this. Here's what Matt in Shelbyville had to say. Quote, "It was time for me to sell the last of my investment properties and use the money elsewhere. There is one guy I trust to get it done, and it's Mark Deedle. I've sold many houses with Mark, and this time was no different than the others. Mark got the job done as expected for the price I needed.
A lot of people ask us, why do you guys talk about Mark Deedle so much? Well, it comes down to this. The guarantee. Mark Deedle guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. That is what separates Mark Deedle, the guarantee. Contact him today, 317-755-4232, or go online, markdeedle.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdeedle.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
What's on your Christmas list this year? Is it endless soft and hot water? Pat Sullivan here. Luckily, my friends at Hope Plumbing are offering an amazing special during the holiday season. A free water softener with the purchase of a tankless water heater. Already have a water softener? No problem. Hope will give you $1,000 off a new tankless water heater. Be the most liked family member and give the gift of endless soft and hot water this holiday season. Call Hope Plumbing, 641-HOPE.
Make your money work for you. At Busey Bank, we understand the importance of saving for the future. Our CD specials offer a competitive, secure, short-term option to help give your savings a boost. Visit Busey.com/CD rates or call 1-800-67-BUSEY today. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868.
We're the Hellsberg Wedding Band, and this is for the lovers out there. Ooh, gonna propose riding on a horse, wearing a tuxedo, shirtless of course. That Hellsberg diamond will dazzle her eye, and she'll say yes, well then she'll cry. Now put your shirt back on, guy. For over 100 years, Hellsberg has been customizing engagement rings of the highest quality. Plus, with Hellsberg's transparent pricing, you know you're getting the best price. Find her ring at a Hellsberg store near you or at Hellsberg.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A shooting on a college campus. Cloudy and 37 degrees on Monument Circle. Your radar's clear. Clouds will likely stick around with a low of 34 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:31. A mass shooting suspect on the campus of UNLV is dead. This student didn't know if the news of a shooting on campus was real at first.
So we were giving our presentations, and then one of the instructors in charge said there was an active shooter, and people really didn't know what to respond. They didn't know if it was like a drill.
Vegas police say there are multiple victims. Officers are clearing buildings one at a time. Your former governor, Mike Pence, may testify against former President Donald Trump in the Georgia election interference trial. Pence, who withdrew from the 2024 presidential election, has been named a witness in the trial. He said at the past that the Georgia election was not stolen. President Biden says Trump running for president again is one reason why he's running for a second term. Fox's Jared Halpern reports.
President Biden joked that probably 50 other Democrats could beat former President Trump next year, but quickly added,
I'm not the only one to read it, but I will defeat him.
The president told donors at a fundraiser yesterday if Trump wasn't running, he's not sure he'd be running, but said Democrats cannot let the former president win. Later in the evening, President Biden clarified he would not drop out, even if his predecessor left the race. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
It's a trade deal that could affect Indiana whiskey.
I'm Donnie Burgess. Senator Todd Young, along with some partners from both sides of the political aisle, say the EU's planned 50% tariff on U.S. whiskey and other spirits puts too much strain on the domestic spirit industry. Young wants the Biden administration to negotiate a new deal. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The closing bell report brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management. The Dow dropped by 70 points to 36,054. The NASDAQ down by 83 today to 14,146. And the S&P 500 dropping by 17, closing this Wednesday afternoon at 4,549. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:33.
At Absolute Wealth Management, LLC, we understand that your retirement and taxes are inseparable. And if you're over 50, we're offering a special deal to kickstart your financial journey in 2024. You can have your 2023 tax return prepared and filed, including Schedules A, B, and D, for just $79.95. This can be the start of a lifelong, profitable partnership with Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. All our retirement planning clients will continue to receive the substantial discount for tax filing and preparation as part of our ongoing retirement marathon that focuses on protecting protecting everything you've worked so hard to build while still providing growth to help elevate your lifestyle in retirement. Take absolute control of your retirement. Call us now at 317-288-0634, 317-288-0634, or visit AbsoluteWealthManagementLLC.com. Investment advisory services offered through Gradient Advisors LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Gradient Advisors LLC and its advisors do not render tax, legal, or accounting advice.
With traffic at 434, here's Matt Baer.
We have all kinds of problems around the North Split. First, southbound at 6570 at Washington. Big hit at Washington Street, and that's blocking the right shoulder, stopping us to the North Split. Now, eastbound 72 Emerson Avenue, there was an earlier semi-fire on the off-ramp. Well, the ramp is blocked right now, but people are making their exit using dirt, the Gore Point, and they are able to use the Gore Point to do that, but it's really backed up right now. Eastbound 72, the North Split. Traffic sponsored by Pierce Jewelers in Carmel. Whether you choose a mined or lab-grown diamond, let a Pierce Jewelers diamond engagement ring be that symbol that says, I love you. Remember, shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers in Carmel. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
A dry and mostly cloudy night is ahead with lows falling into the mid-30s. Then for Thursday, lots of sunshine and much warmer with highs pushing into the mid-50s and wind gusts of 20 to 30 miles per hour at times. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
My name is Nigel. That's Jason Hammer over here. We'll go straight to the WIBC hotline and bring on best-selling author Bill O'Reilly. BillO'Reilly.com, also iconic anchor of the O'Reilly Factor, but the book, Killing the Witches, The Horror of Salem, Massachusetts, is out now. Be a great Christmas gift. Bill, how is the book doing, first of all?
250,000 copies in the first 2 months on sale, so we are very happy because we live in a time where reading books is declining because everybody has a dopey machine in their hand and they don't want to miss any texts, so they might come in while they're reading the book. So we're very pleased. And people if you read the reviews on Amazon, close to 90% of them are excellent reviews. So the people that are buying the book seem to like it.
So what you're saying is it's doing better than Liz Cheney's book. That's what I'm learning here.
There is a huge anti-Trump book industry.
There is.
Yeah, it only lasts for 2 weeks. They put out, we hate Trump and we hate him this way, and then after 2 weeks it dies. But the same people keep buying the hate Trump books. I mean, it's amazing. How much more can you hate him? I think you're at the limit now of the hating, but they want more, and Liz Cheney gave it to them.
Well, let's start with Donald Trump at the town hall last night with Sean Hannity. One of the questions Hannity asked him was, will Biden make it to 2024 and the elections? Donald Trump didn't seem to think so. Do you agree?
Well, you and I talked about this last time I was on.
Yeah.
My prediction is that Biden will not make it, but I could be wrong. I'm speculating. Obviously his mental decline is obviously obvious. I think I'm being redundant there. His mental decline is there for anybody who wants to see it to see it, and then the Hunter Biden stuff's not going away. And then the polling gets worse and worse and worse. So the Democratic Party would like to get out of him now, but they really don't have anybody to go to. Newsom's not going to make it after that debate last week. I mean, he just looked ridiculous, Newsom. He wouldn't even acknowledge any of the stats that are in stone, wouldn't even talk about them. He just keeps deflecting. I don't think he could possibly win. And Kamala polls worse than Biden, so they have nowhere to go, and that's where Biden is now. We'd like to get out of him. This is the Democratic Party, but we don't have anywhere to go.
Bill, Jason Hammer here, and I'm glad you're bringing up that Gavin Newsom, Ron DeSantis debate from a week ago. I went into that not really expecting much. I didn't know what to expect, honestly. But the more I watched that, the more I was into it. I thought Ron DeSantis did a really good job of getting Gavin on the record, of basically being like a Joe Biden fanboy, loving everything that Joe Biden's doing, from Bidenomics to the border and everywhere in between. What did you think?
Well, the thing that appalled me was the arrogance of the governor of California. So he doesn't feel he has a responsibility to address any kind of reality whatsoever. So, the economy, the average American household is spending $12,000 more today on essentials than it did the last year of Trump. That is an in-stone government figure. Yet when asked about it, there's Newsom going, no, the economy's great. It's great. And you go, well, wait. These are working people. They don't have a discretionary fund of $12,000 to pay more every year for essentials. What are you talking about? No, it's great. No, I know 7 people in Silicon Valley who are really doing well. I mean, it was insulting. Now, DeSantis had a much easier time of it because he's run Florida pretty well, and he stays in that zone. We did this, we did that, it worked, and obviously it does work. So he had that advantage. But the problem with DeSantis is that he doesn't connect to the working American person. He comes across as like a cyber unit out there, just reciting things rather than really speaking as a human being, and that's going to sink him. He's not going to get the Republican nomination.
We'll be looking for Bill O'Reilly's post-debate analysis tonight on News Nation. Are we going to learn anything new tonight with this debate?
You'll see how brilliant I am.
Sure, of course, yeah.
Some people don't believe that, so that would be learning something new. But the other 4, I don't know why Christie and Ramaswamy are even there. I don't even know why they're there, because they have no hope. They have no chance. So why are we taking up people's time with this? It should just be Haley and DeSantis. And that's the Republican Party. The Republican Party is ridiculous. It's a ridiculous party. And what are you doing? You have 2 people up there. Absolutely no chance at all. Why don't you put Frazier up there? I mean,
I heard that's a pretty good show, that reboot.
Yeah, at least we get a few laughs and chuckles. It's crazy. So Haley has been the most successful and I believe impressive, even though I don't like her that much. She's very imperious in person. I know a little bit, and she's not a regular person in my eyes. I guess I could be wrong, but she's been impressive. And if Trump really wants to get back to the White House, he would put her on the number 2 slot. And I'll say that tonight on News Nation. I said, look, it doesn't really matter what these people say on the stage. None of them are going to beat Trump in the primary. I mean, I guess there possibly could be an upset in Iowa, but I doubt it. And New Hampshire, that's not Trump territory, but I think he'll still win. But Haley has been impressive. And here's the kicker, and Trump doesn't want to hear this, but I'll say it because I'm an honest guy. Haley would have a much easier time beating Biden than Trump.
Why is that?
Because she's more acceptable to women and independents.
Easy enough. Of course, she, to me, seems pretty establishmenty.
She is, no doubt about it.
I mean, war hawkish, accepting money from Democratic donors. I mean, I heard her say today on CBS Morning News that, they asked her about kids' sex change operations, and she said, no, it's got to be left out of the states and in the hands of the parents of a 12-year-old. If you're 12 years old, you want to have a sex change, that's between the parents and the 12-year-old. And I'm thinking she's not that. That's not a Republican virtue, is it?
No, I agree with you 100%. That's, nutty parents should not have license to destroy their children. That's child abuse. So the states should pass laws that say you cannot have the surgery until you're 18 years old, and then between 18 and 21, you have to get the consent of your parents, both parents, in order to have it. That's a sane law. All right, so if Johnny wants to be Heidi, just have to wait a few years, John. You can dress up if you want. You can go out and, sing Julie Andrews songs, but you're going to have to wait. And I don't think that's unreasonable because they're insane parents that will destroy children. We see it every day.
Chatting with Bill O'Reilly. The book, Killing the Witches, The Horror of Salem, Massachusetts. It's available. Would make an awesome gift to put under the tree for somebody. Bill, let's go back to this debate tonight. You mentioned Ramaswamy doesn't deserve to be there. Chris Christie shouldn't be there. I get Christie. Christie's just there to be a troll to Donald Trump. There's a lot of people that feel like whenever these debates happen, they like something Ramaswamy says. But it feels like the only time we ever hear from this guy is when there is a debate and he's got some sort of zinger.
Well, he has no money. So that's why I don't hear from him. I mean, he doesn't have any money. I like him. I think he's very smart, and I applaud anybody who wants to get into public service. I mean, obviously, he's a patriot. I like him. He's been on the No Spin News, and I told him right off, I said, you're not going to win, so why are you doing this? You want a big book? You want to get famous? Why are you doing it? You know, and of course, he deflected. He goes, oh, no, I'm going to win. I said, okay, fine. What are you going to do, right? I'm a journalist. I have to tell the truth. I do tell the truth, and if somebody doesn't want to acknowledge it, like Newsom, you can't go up there with a little hammer and hit him. But I like Ramaswamy, but he's just not going to do it. And so the Republican Party controls who they put on the stage. And my question to them is, why are you wasting people's time with Christie and Ramaswamy? Why? And there's never an answer. You know, if I'm the head of the Republican Party, my only goal is to defeat Joe Biden, the second worst president in United States history. You got to get him out of there.
Are you a Ronna McDaniel's got to go?
I don't
guy?
care about Ronna. I'm sorry, Ronna. I'm sure you're a nice person. I'm not a party guy. I'm a registered independent. I think both parties are ridiculous. They're propaganda outlets. I want problem solvers. That's who I vote for. You know, the person who says, look, here's the problem. Here's how I'm going to solve it. If it's logical, then I'll vote for that person. I don't care what party they're in. But right now, with Biden being so destructive to the nation on so many things, and I have a lot of liberal friends. I'm in New York, you know, and I say to them, give me one thing in 3 years that Biden has done to improve the country. And these are smart people.
What do they say?
Nothing. They don't have it.
Okay.
Give me one.
Yeah.
You know, just one. Nothing. And it's true. He has done not one single thing to improve the lives of working Americans.
Bill, is there a audiobook version of Killing the Witches?
We'll come to your house and read you the book. I mean, Killing the Witches, a phenomenon because I tie the horror of Salem in 1692 to what is happening today. We have a witch hunt today. There's not a single man in the United States that's safe from any accusation. You want to destroy somebody, you get some lawyer, you can do it. It's easy to do. And so we write about regular folks whose lives have been destroyed. That's what the hook is on this book. The history is fascinating. 20 human beings hung because 12-year-old girls are saying that they came in the night and want them to sign the devil's book. I mean, this was unbelievable. But now we have another witch hunt. But BillO'Reilly.com, the Christmas Hanukkah store, will save you a ton of dough. And my theory is this. If people like me, they're going to like the books. They're going to like the mugs. They're going to like everything we have. And if you don't like somebody and they hate me, then you give them a gift from BillO'Reilly.com. And you give them a little jazz, you know. Right.
Look for Bill O'Reilly's analysis post-debate tonight on News Nation. Bill, you've always been really good, not only to the WIBC audience here in Indianapolis, but to our show specifically. You've been calling for years, and we'll always remain huge fans. And Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and best of luck with the book.
Enjoy it, guys. Thanks for having me back.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Make those holidays magic this year with something beautiful and timeless from Diamonds Direct. Lots of gift ideas. How about an eternity band? Maybe a classic diamond stud earrings. Something new and eye-catching from a world-class designer. Or maybe you're looking for that perfect engagement ring. Maybe a Swiss timepiece. They've got tons of perfect gifts for that season, starting at around $300.
At Diamonds Direct, the staff is the best in the business. Every time I've been into Diamonds Direct, the staff gives me options. They let me get the biggest bang for my dollar. And if you're a little concerned, maybe you don't know what you want to get your wife or that loved one for the holidays, their experts can pick out the perfect headliner gift. They can break down the warranties. They can break down the financing. Get all the information, diamondsdirect.com, or just stop by that beautiful showroom at Keystone at the Crossing, Diamonds Direct. But you got to tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
So what's a good rate on a CD today? Something like 5%? Yeah, and that's the highest it's been in a long time. Well, you know your retirement guy, Bill Demery, could help you do way better, right? Hey, it's Hammer and Nigel. Instead of getting 5%, what if you could get a much better return? Like a return that's averaged 7% per year for the past 10 years. That's 40% better. Let me say that again, 40% better.
Plus, now check this out. You also get an immediate 13% bonus on your investment. And it's all backed by one of the largest insurers in the world. A 13% bonus and a 7% average return. You should call Bill Demery right now. 317-648-5120. 13% bonus. This won't last long. 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, 648-5120. Past performance is no guarantee of future returns.
You only have one heart, so let's keep it near everyone it beats for. Franciscan Health is leading the way as the only hospital in Indiana to be recognized as one of HealthGrade's 100 best hospitals for cardiac care and coronary intervention in 2024. We're delivering award-winning heart care in your neighborhood, near everyone you love, because our greatest reward is caring for you. Learn more about our compassionate, patient-focused approach to heart care. Visit us at franciscanhealth.org/heartcare.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Pierce Jewelers is Carmel's full-service jewelry store where all watch repair, jewelry repair, appraisals, or custom design is done in-house. See them at piercejewelers.com.
Matt Bear has a look at the roads.
All right, Hammer, looking at southbound 6570. This is a crash at Washington Street. Downtown crash stopping us back into the north split. It also draining westbound 70. That is slow right now to stop from Rural Street into the north split. Southbound 65 also slow because of the crash coming in from 29th Street to the north split. The stall cleared eastbound 70, I should say semi-fire. It's gone from the ramp to Emerson Avenue. That's good. Now, northbound 465 stop and go 86th Street up to 865, and eastbound 465 stop and go traffic from Westfield Boulevard to Allisonville Road. This is a crash 86th Street west of Keystone Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Pierce Jewelers in Carmel. Whether you choose a mined or lab-grown diamond, let a Pierce Jewelers diamond engagement ring be that symbol that says I love you. Remember, shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers in Carmel. I'm Matt Bear. Donate to my digital kettle for the Salvation Army Radiothon at WIBC.com.
38 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
My name is Nigel. That's Jason Hammer over there. It's not we're not going to do the final right now, right?
No.
This is it. Tomorrow is the finals.
We're going to find out who's going to the final tomorrow.
Okay.
Who is going to punch their ticket and appear in the championship game against the thing tomorrow.
And again, this is all inspired by the NBA and their in-season tournament that they're having right now, which, by the way, Pacers are having some success with.
They're in the Final Four of it. They're out in Vegas. They play the Milwaukee Bucks tomorrow at 5 o'clock. And in Biden madness, we are down to the nitty-gritty here. A ticket to the championship game was on the line between the number 5 seed, which was Joe Biden, butchering the name of rapper LL Cool J, and then giving us some folksy racism by calling him boy.
Two of the great artists of our time representing the groundbreaking legacy of hip-hop in America, LL Cool J. By the way, that man's got biceps bigger than my thighs. I think he's...
Now
he knew he stepped in it when he said boy, because he immediately changed it to man.
Right. And I wonder if one of his handlers was like there on the floor next to the prompter waving his hands. No. So that was the 5 seed.
Okay, 5 seed.
Competing against the number 2 seed, the winner of the second Biden Madness tournament, Joe Biden, speaking to a predominantly black church on MLK Day, and in attendance was Martin Luther King III. It was his wife Andrea's birthday. Andrea is her name. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Biden.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Violet. Happy birthday
Every time
to
I hear it.
you.
Every time I hear it, I laugh.
Andrea was her name, and we got Happy Birthday Velvet.
I mean, he didn't even give it a shot. He didn't even try.
And what the hell is Velvet? Like, that's the first thing he can think of when he's at a blank. Happy birthday, dear Velvet. So I kind of figured this would be the case. It won by a landslide. Moving on to the championship game tomorrow.
Happy birthday to you.
There it is.
Happy birthday
Andrea.
to you. Happy birthday, dear Violet. Happy birthday to you.
So, Nige, this is it. This is the matchup we've wanted.
I'm very
the 1
excited.
seed against the 2 seed tomorrow. You know the thing against Happy Birthday Velvet. The 2 winners of previous Biden Madness tournaments going head to head. This is what the people want.
And who, the Pacers are playing Milwaukee?
Yes.
And what are those odds right now?
Milwaukee was around a 4 to 5 point favorite in this game. Pacers beat Milwaukee earlier in the year.
Yeah, that's right.
But Giannis had 54 in that game.
Oh.
So, Pacers are going to have to be on their A game. Damian Lillard missed the previous game. He's back for this one for the Bucks. 5 o'clock tomorrow in Las Vegas.
You would be there. You would be there if not for
the WIBC Radiothon.
Radiothon. You're a big man.
Man, I want to help out people who have had a rough year, who need a little pick-me-up. That's really important to me.
But thank you for your sacrifice, Hammer.
Now, if they advance to the championship game on Saturday, my ass is going to Vegas.
No, you won't. Really?
There's a good chance.
All right. Well, we'll be right back. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show, 93 WIBC. Guys, there is a lot of people talking about testosterone, but you need to do your homework and go to somewhere that you can trust. We recommend the Low T Center. They specialize in men's wellness, and they have customized testosterone treatments. At Low T Center, and they really just make it easy. You walk in, you take a simple blood test, and with their on-site labs, you'll get results back in about 25 minutes.
The Low T Center, they do so much for men's health. It's not just testosterone. They can test you for all types of things, some cancer, sleep apnea, whatever. Low T Center is not like your typical doctor's office where you've got these long waits. The Low T Center, it's like concierge medicine exclusively for guys. And right now at the Low T Center, it's only $25 to get your T level tested, and you get your results back in about 25 minutes. LowTCenter.com. Book that appointment right now. LowTCenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Hey there, it's Hammer and Nigel with some fantastic news from AAA Hoosier Motor Club. For a limited time, our listeners can grab a 1-year AAA Classic membership and enjoy a whopping 50% off. I can vouch for the savings. My AAA membership practically pays for itself.
And let's talk about their legendary roadside service. Flat tire, dead battery, run out of gas, lock your keys in the car. AAA's got your back 24/7, 365. Visit AAA.com/gift. 844-GO-AAA-GO or swing by your local AAA office today.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your independent, locally owned American Standard hometown dealer in Johnson County, Marshall Mechanical Heating and Cooling. Are you tired of the free air conditioner or furnace sketchy claims and want an honest quote with honest pricing from people who live and work in your community? Call Marshall Mechanical. Just go to callthemarshallnow.com to schedule an appointment. Financing options are available. Subject to credit approval, call for details. Marshall Mechanical Heating and Cooling, your American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer in Johnson County.
If you think quality healthcare is out of reach for your small business, you have more options than you think. Jim Shoemaker can develop a customized plan that makes coverage for your team a reality. Jim understands the challenges of small businesses and can help you save hundreds every month, just like he did for Duvall & Son Garage.
We began working with Jim Shoemaker. He helped secure a great health insurance plan for our company and save us a lot of money.
Call or text today, 317-409-3963. Jim Shoemaker is a MedMutual insurance broker.
With the holidays upon us, the increase in traveling, shopping, and connecting online also heightens the need to protect your identity and finances with LifeLock. Identity thieves see this time of year as an opportunity to drain your accounts, open new loans in your name, and damage your financial future. LifeLock detects and alerts you to threats you might miss on your own. Don't let the busy holiday season catch you off guard. Save up to 25% off your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com.
Hi, this is Denny Smith. When it comes to your well, preventive maintenance is the key to safe and reliable water. C&J is offering their well cleaning special, and it's a deal that really helps improve the quality of the water you consume every day. To prevent problems, you simply must do a bacteria sampling, amps test on the pump, switch analysis, pressure tank check, piping exam, and a flow evaluation. Clean your well to protect the water you drink, bathe in, and wash your clothes. Call C&J to keep your water source safe, sanitary, and reliable. 317-852-WELL.
Coming up in 2 minutes, why Mike Pence is labeled as a witness. A man not old enough to drink, accused of drunk driving in Posey County, and who the Colts nominated as their Walter Payton Man of the Year. It's coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
Threat. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. That update moments ago from police in Las Vegas after responding earlier to reports of an active shooter at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas campus, where a search continues, though police have also said the suspect is dead. Sheriff's officials just holding a briefing.
The sheriff there, Kevin McMahill, saying that they continue to go, in his words, building by building. But it's important what he said there, that he did not mention anything about looking for another suspect. He said, quote, "We are looking for additional victims."
Fox's Jonathan Hunt. There's no confirmation on any number of victims at this point or any possible motive. House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries wishing former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy nothing but the best after McCarthy announced he's leaving Congress this month, not finishing his 9th term.
While I'll be departing the House at the end of this year, I will never, ever give up fighting for this country that I love so much.
This less than 2 months after his ouster as Speaker. President Biden pressing Congress to approve more aid to Ukraine before it dries up at the end of this year.
Abandoning Ukraine now, President Biden warns, would only strengthen Russian President Vladimir Putin.
If Putin takes Ukraine, he won't stop there. It's important to see the long run here. He's going to keep going.
And the president says that could draw in U.S. troops to defend NATO allies. A supplemental spending bill for Ukraine aid is stalled as Republicans insist on additional immigration and border provisions, a step President Biden says he is willing to take.
We need to fix the broken border system. It is broken.
But he says Republicans must accept bipartisan compromise.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The president spoke ahead of a procedural vote on his package in the Senate. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He could wind up in court. 37 degrees and cloudy in downtown Indianapolis. Nothing on your radar. Low of 34 predicted for tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. Prosecutors have added former Indiana Governor and Vice President Mike Pence's name to a witness list in an election interference trial. Ryan Hedrick reports.
The case in Georgia is against Pence's former boss, ex-President Donald Trump. Trump says the 2020 election was stolen from him. Pence has repeatedly said the Georgia election was not stolen from him and that he had no right to overturn the results, which is exactly what Trump wanted him to do. Pence has suggested that he would testify against Trump, who is the frontrunner for the 2024 GOP presidential nomination. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
It was a nearly empty bottle of brandy that led state police to arresting a man for drunk driving in Posey County last night.
Unfortunately, the individual became belligerent. He forcefully resisted the trooper. Thankfully, a couple other officers were nearby. They were able to help contain him.
State Police Sergeant Todd Ringel says he's also charged with intimidation, disorderly conduct, and underage drinking since he's only 20 years old. You may crack open a cold one and not think twice about it, but there are tariffs and jobs on the line. Donnie Burgess explains.
The European Union plans to add tariffs to domestic U.S. whiskey and other spirits starting next year. That's going to cost American jobs and money, says your Senator Todd Young. He's teamed up with other Republicans and Democrats, requesting the Biden administration negotiate a new deal to stop those tariffs in their place. Nearly $3 billion and 26,000 Indiana jobs are supported by the U.S. distilled spirit industry. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The Colts have announced linebacker Zaire Franklin is their nominee for the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award.
As our responsibility and our duty as to inspire and encourage change, not only in our own community, but also throughout our country.
The award is given to a player who demonstrates excellence both on and off the field. This year, he's helped the Boys and Girls Club of Indianapolis and also taught financial literacy seminars. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
Mark Dietel has your back when it comes to getting your home sold. When it comes to finding you a new home, Mark Dietel is the only real estate agent that I'd trust. How about Cindy and George in Indy? A job relocation and a hard start date had them scrambling to get their house sold fast. So Mark launched his intense marketing plan, and he got multiple offers. They sold for the price they needed in plenty of time to move, with more money in their pocket for their next house.
Did you know that Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it? That is the Mark Dietel guarantee. Call him today. Get all the information right now. 317-755-4232. That's 755-4232. Or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
With traffic on the 5s at 5:05, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, looking at a crash at southbound 65 at 70 on Washington Street. Just a vicious fender bender, and right now traffic is stopped back to the north split, and that slows down inbound at 70. Jammed up from rural into the north split, and southbound 65 is stopped 29th down to 21st and slow rolling into the north split. Eastbound 72 downtown, stop and go from Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. South side, eastbound 465. Stop and go traffic from 70 to the White River, and northbound 465 loaded from 86th Street up to 865. Traffic sponsored by Arizona State University. With ASU Online, you get everything the nation's most innovative university has to offer. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu. That's asuonline.asu.edu. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
A dry and mostly cloudy night is ahead with lows falling into the mid-30s. Then for Thursday, lots of sunshine and much warmer with highs pushing into the mid-50s and wind gusts up to 20 to 30 miles per hour at times. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. Looking forward to a special guest tomorrow on the program. When is Riley Gaines calling in?
4:05 tomorrow.
4:05 tomorrow right here on the Hammer and Nigel show. Of course, Riley Gaines, American former competitive swimmer, competed for the University of Kentucky, the NCAA swim team, got beat out by a trans man claiming to be a woman, Leah Thomas. And now she's kind of the face of that movement, that movement that doesn't want biological men in women's sports, right?
Protecting women's sports.
Yes.
And it really shouldn't be so much of a hot take to say that women should compete against women and men should compete against men.
Well, so Riley, and I can't wait to ask her about this tomorrow because this is so unreal. She was testifying in front of some Title IX committee yesterday. And Riley was called transphobic by Representative Summer Lee out of Pennsylvania for saying men shouldn't be able to compete pretending they are women. So then Riley throws Democrats into a tizzy by saying that they are misogynists for making this argument. Listen to this.
Sports is associated with lower rates such as teamwork and goal setting. In terms of mental health, studies show that participating in youth sports is associated with lower rates of anxiety and depression, lower amounts of stress, higher self-esteem and confidence.
Women must stop. Inclusion cannot be prioritized over safety and fairness. And Ranking Member Lee, if my testimony makes me transphobic, then I believe your opening monologue makes you a misogynist.
Oh.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I move to have the gentlewoman's words taken down. Madam Chair, she's engaging in personalities.
Can I just ask how it's fair to be called transphobic?
There's a
thing.
I would say men disguising themselves as women are engaging in personalities.
Order.
Yeah.
Hang on. Order. Let's get a ruling. The chair.
Okay, I move to withdraw the point of order.
Oh, you weasel. So Summer Lee of Pennsylvania, which, again, I don't know what Riley Gaines has done to the people of Pennsylvania because it's constantly being a pain in her backside from a dude acting like a woman and now this House rep. But you do all of that. You grandstand, and you ultimately have to eat your words.
I'm gonna pull the point of order. Is that what she said? Yeah,
and how poised was Riley there? Again, she's 23 years old. It isn't like this is something that she's been doing her whole life.
She had a look of just, I wish you could have seen, I'm going to ask her about it tomorrow, just a look of bewilderment on her face. Like a look of, what are you talking about? You're a representative. You're a member of Congress. And you're calling me transphobic for saying that biological men shouldn't be able to compete in women's sports? And she was not afraid to go back out there at her. I love
good
it.
for her. And that's the one thing that I appreciate the hell out of with Riley Gaines. There are a lot of big media outlets and big name politicians trying to use their bully pulpit to scare her off. And she's fearless. Yeah, she's 23 years old and she's a badass.
She's past the point of being intimidated. One more thing, another piece of ridiculousness to this Title IX hearing. This is National Women's Law Center President Fatima Goss Graves. She's the liberal witness at this Title IX hearing. So for every Riley Gaines, there's a Fatima Graves, right?
Right.
So she's saying, listen to how she puts this. She says basically that female athletes should, quote, learn to lose gracefully to biological men.
And success in school sports depends on a whole range of factors, including how hard you work and coaching and access to really good resources and facilities. And trans students participate in sports for the same reason as their kids, because it is fun, because it creates belonging and community, because it teaches so much about persistence and leadership, and
because it's easier to compete against a woman than it is a man.
And discipline, unless they learn to lose gracefully, hopefully. And often they learn to win with dignity.
So by saying to trans people, they need to learn to lose gracefully. In other words, she's saying, so do the women. So do the women competing in this. You girls need to learn to lose gracefully when competing against biological men.
So, listen, it's not sexist to say men are stronger, bigger than women. I mean, that's just biology, right? They just are. So I wonder what would happen if robots were invented that would beat men in track and field, that would beat men in wrestling, that would beat men in football and basketball. Could you imagine having that same conversation to a male athlete? Listen, LeBron James, I know you're really good at what you do, but you're going to have to learn to lose gracefully to this robot that's just better than you. You've got no shot because of your DNA against a robot. In essence, that's kind of the same message that some of these women are getting. Learn to lose gracefully to this woman with a beard and a crank over here.
Okay, if you need a reason to drink tonight, Hammer, 59 years ago in 1964, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer first aired on NBC.
Now, this is the classic, like the claymation type of Rudolph here. if you sit back and watch that, like as a parent or as an adult when you get older.
Santa's kind of an a-hole, isn't he?
Santa is an a-hole. Like the reindeer are a-hole. Like if I were Rudolph, I would go back there. No. Oh, now you need my nose? Well, Rudolph remembers certain things that you said to me. You called me names. Me and this weird little toy-making elf, we're going to get the hell out of here, and you can save Christmas your own. Like, that would be me, but I'm a little bit more vengeful than Rudolph is.
Yes, you are.
So on this date, 59 years ago, Rudolph made its debut. Does this make your holiday rotation?
No.
You're not a big Rudolph guy.
No. Maybe when I was a kid watching it with my grandparents, I do have fond memories of watching that. But
do your kids get into it at all?
Not this particular one. No, I mean they've been watching a lot of stuff on Netflix, Disney Plus, and stuff like that. But nothing like the old 50s or 60s claymation.
So they don't like the Charlie Browns.
No,
they don't like the Rudolph or the Frosties.
They like the Charlie Brown Christmas. Yeah, they do. They get into that. We have that on DVD somewhere, I'm sure.
But not the claymation Rudolph.
Nope.
I like it. I know some others do too. So in order to lift up people like Nigel and get them into the holiday spirit here are some holiday memories from Terry Stacy.
This is just ridiculous.
Holiday Memories with Terry Stacy.
My dad would never buy us a turkey or ham for Christmas dinner. Instead, he would always deep fry a horse.
And this has been Holiday Memories with Terry Stacy.
Matt Bear standing by. He has a look at the roads.
All right, hammer crash southbound 65 70 Washington Street. And this is blocking the right lane, stopping traffic into the north split. The whole thing's a mess right now. Inbound 70 loaded and barely moving from Monroe Street to the north split because of the crash mentioned. And southbound 65 has it bad as well from MLK down to the north split. Eastbound 72 downtown. This is the west side. Slow from Belmont to the south split. You exit north and it's slow up to Washington Street. And then northbound 465 northwest side stop and go before 86 to 865. That's a crash at 38th and Post East side and a crash 86 west of Keystone on the north side. Traffic sponsored by Comcast Business. Start saving with Comcast Business Mobile on the most reliable 5G network. Most reliable based on Root Metrics U.S. report. Results vary, not an endorsement. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
38 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
So, Hammer, tell me you've heard Bill Demery, our retirement guy. We're both clients of Bill Demery. Tell me you've heard about this guy. He's helping Indy residents add an instant 13% bonus on top of their retirement savings.
So if my Ball State education is correct, that's like every $100 gets you an extra $13 more. Is that right?
Yeah, and it also adds up. I mean, you can get $13,000 for every $100,000.
That's a solid bonus right there.
It is. And so you'll get an extremely competitive return year after year as well. Over the last 10 years, it's been like 7% or something like that, backed by one of the world's largest insurance companies.
So if you want your 13% bonus from Bill Demery, your retirement guy, what do they have to do?
Oh, it's easy. Just call up Bill Demery, 317-648-5120. But it may not last long, so call 648-5120. That's 648-5120.
Past performance is no guarantee of future returns.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, above your eyes, below your eyes, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor, you've visited urgent care over and over again, and it's always the same thing. I know. Let's try antibiotics and nasal sprays. But the sinus infections keep coming back. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of Indianapolis Sinus Center called balloon sinuplasty. Imagine the relief of not having to deal with your sinus infections anymore. Set an appointment today with Indianapolis Sinus Center and find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Call 317-528-9650. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650.
Of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer with expert installation and 24-hour monitoring. Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
You only have one heart. So let's keep it near everyone it beats for. Franciscan Health is leading the way as the only hospital in Indiana to be recognized as one of HealthGrade's 100 best hospitals for cardiac care and coronary intervention in 2024. We're delivering award-winning heart care in your neighborhood, near everyone you love, because our greatest reward is caring for you. Learn more about our compassionate, patient-focused approach to heart care. Visit us at franciscanhealth.org/heartcare.
With the holidays upon us, the increase in traveling, shopping, and connecting online also heightens the need to protect your identity and finances with LifeLock. Identity thieves see this time of year as an opportunity to drain your accounts, open new loans in your name, and damage your financial future. LifeLock detects and alerts you to threats you might miss on your own. Don't let the busy holiday season catch you off guard. Save up to 25% off your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com.
The Renegades. Styx. The Jukebox Heroes. Foreigner. With very special guest, John Waite. Friday, July 26th, Ruoff Music Center. Reserve seats on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at LiveNation.com. Styx and Foreigner. The Renegades and Jukebox Heroes Tour.
Life is a collection of moments that last forever, so make them matter and make them count with a symbol of everlasting love. A diamond from Pierce Jewelers. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
Are you really okay with this?
Are you okay? Everything's gonna be okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm pretty far from okay. Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel Show. Oh, yeah!
All right, Hammer, this is from 9 News in Denver. So the meteorologist is live on location outside, right? Throwing it back into the studio.
Okay.
And apparently one of the anchors is an IU fan, is a Hoosiers fan.
Had a big win last night.
Yeah, Hoosiers won last night, and I want you to listen to how the meteorologist throws it back to the anchor in the studio.
Toss it back to you guys. And Aaron, again, congratulations on your big Hooters. Hoosiers win. You said, wow, that was a slip of the tongue.
What was that again?
The Hoosiers who won.
YouTube. Yeah, that's good.
Anyways, yeah, that'll be on YouTube.
I was going to say.
Anyways, back to you. Before I say anything else, I'll just close my mouth. It's chilly out here.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And the anchor is a female named Erin. So if you couldn't hear it, I want to play this one more time here. A female anchor in the studio who's an IU fan, and this is how he threw it back to her.
Toss it back to you guys. And Aaron, again, congratulations on your big Hooters. Hoosiers win. You said...
And they instantly knew, oh, YouTube. Oh, that's going on YouTube for sure. That's going to be passed around. That is a viral moment. And I'm surprised in this day and age that he doesn't have to sit down with an HR person of some sort, you know, even though it was purely innocent.
Right. He just got a little tongue-tied. He meant to say Hoosiers.
Toss it back to you guys. And Aaron, again, congratulations on your big Hooters.
I am okay with all of this.
Are you okay with this?
I'm okay with the Hoosiers win. I'm okay with Aaron having big Hooters. And I'm okay with this guy who's outside in the cold Colorado air, probably got a little tongue-tied. It's an innocent mistake. I'm good with all of this, Nige.
I guess it's better than Jim Carrey and Liar Liar getting into an elevator with a woman.
Hi.
Hi.
New in the building?
Yeah, I just moved in Monday.
Oh, you like it so far?
Mm-hmm. Everybody's been real nice.
Well, that's because you have big jugs. I mean, your boobs are huge.
Toss it back to you guys. And Aaron, again, congratulations on your big Hooters.
Congratulations, Aaron, from the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Okay, Taylor Swift, top Times Person of the Year, Time Magazine. She beat out Barbie.
Okay.
She beat out former President Donald Trump's prosecutors.
Okay.
And she beat out Britain's recently coronated King Charles III, Taylor Swift. And she got similar accolades from People magazine. Forbes named her the number one list of the world's most powerful women in media and entertainment. Are you okay with this?
I am. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm the biggest fan of her music. I'm not going to pay, ridiculous amounts of money for concert tickets.
Oh, we are.
I know you're fighting that battle right now, Nige.
Yeah.
But game respects game, right? Her tour is a monster. It's going to be like a 2-year world tour. She's coming to Indy late next year, and people are already excited for it. And the amount of money and attention that she has brought into this, I'm good with this, man. And look, I don't like her politics, not the biggest fan of her music per se, but she pays her staff well. We've heard the stories of what she gives her,
the bonuses.
Big semi-truck drivers and roadies and all that kind of stuff. Sounds like she takes care of her people, so I'm good with this. Now, if you're telling me that she's going to be coming to Indy with the GOAT from the famous Taylor Swift GOAT remix, then I might pay big bucks. That stupid clip makes me laugh every time.
I would pay to see that for sure. Okay, Tampa Bay Lightning's goalie had his 33rd career shutout. They beat the Dallas Stars Monday night this week, Hammer, but it was a reporter who let one rip.
Oh, no.
That stole his attention during the post-game interview session. Take a listen to this.
What's on your mind in the last 48 hours?
Obviously, it wasn't great feeling the last game, but what was the question? Mindset. Yeah. So sorry.
I always love the awkward aftermath of a fart, of an unintentional fart. So that wasn't, again, he's in the locker room. That wasn't an athlete. That was the reporter. Do you want to hear it again real quick?
Please.
What's on your mind in the last 48 hours?
Obviously, it wasn't great feeling the last game, but
Are you okay with the reporter, in this case, in the locker room, floating an air biscuit?
My question to you, Nige, is, was the reporter John Kerry?
Those things that are killing people on a daily basis.
We had that yesterday, right? John Kerry's at that climate panel, and at the end, lets a fart go.
Those things that are killing people on a daily basis.
What's on your mind in the last 48 hours?
Obviously, it wasn't great feeling the last game, but
the reporter letting it loose in the locker room is 100 times better than Kerry's.
Oh, it is. And imagine being the guy that lets the fart that makes a hockey player uncomfortable. Like, these are some of the most tough, Billy Badass guys in the world. They lose teeth in games. They fight during games. That dude was a little uncomfortable because of that beefer.
Are you okay with this? An Ohio woman got arrested for throwing her Chipotle order at an employee.
Speaking of beefers,
she was given the chance to work off part of the sentence by working at a fast food restaurant. Here is a municipal judge sentencing Rosemary Hine, along with comments from him and the victim, Emily Russell.
Do you want to walk in her shoes for 2 months and learn how people should treat people, or do you want to do your jail time? I'd like to walk in her shoes.
She didn't get a snap on her vest. She's going to learn how to work in fast food, and hopefully it'll be good.
And no one deserves that. So I thought, why should the city taxpayers pay for her and feed her for 90 days in jail if I can teach her a sense of empathy?
Are you okay with this sentencing?
Yes,
All right.
but I want a caveat with it, though. If she goes to this fast food job and she doesn't work, or she calls in sick all the time, or she acts like a clown, then you go to jail. You go immediately to jail.
there's gotta
Do
be
not pass go.
stipulations, yeah.
Do not collect $200. It kind of sounds like something from like an 80s sitcom, right? Where the judge sentences you to be my butler.
Yeah, that was Jerry Seinfeld's first pilot. Yeah, right. On
Because
the show.
he's my butler. In this case, it's my fast food worker. I hope she does learn a lesson because, man, that work, fast food, it can't be fun. It can't be something you wake up every morning and be like, I can't wait to get there.
I mean, when I was 16, that was one of my first gigs. It was a Burger King there in Brownsburg. I had fun. I worked with people my own age.
Did you ever hear anybody yelling at you or throwing a burrito at you?
No, none of that crap. None of the stuff you see on Twitter and social media. But, I mean, I just don't think it's a job meant for, at 16. By the time I was 18, I had moved on. You know what I mean?
Right.
A Kentucky family is furious after their inflatable Santa decoration was shot in what seemed to be a drive-by shooting. Here's the homeowner talking about his inflatable snowman getting gunned down.
Me and my wife were sitting on the couch watching TV and heard kind of like a small bang or whatever. So she asked me to take a look, and when I looked out the front door, we saw that the inflatable had fallen over. I went back and looked at our home security camera, and it actually showed a vehicle turn around in the court and a sound that sounded like a firearm shoot it, and as soon as that noise went off, the inflatable fell down.
I'm assuming you're not okay with this.
No, I'm not okay with this. But you know who probably is? Ryan Mears, prosecutor of Marion County, because he would have that guy back out on the streets later that night if he indeed was the prosecutor and that guy was brought to justice. Because that's the way Ryan Mears gets down. Me, on the other hand, I am an eye for an eye kind of guy. So I would find the scumbag trying to ruin Christmas and pay him a visit, as the mafia folks would say.
Wow. I mean, you're not talking about taking a life, are you? I mean, they just shot the snowman, the inflatable snowman. They didn't kill anybody.
Tony Kennett's coming up next. He's the host of the Tony Kennett Cast here at 93 WIBC. Okay. That conversation after the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What the cops know so far, 37 degrees and cloudy downtown. All clear with a radar low of 34 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:30. Vegas police say there are 3 victims after a shooting at UNLV this afternoon. The shooter is dead, and there's no ongoing threat, say police.
Our officers are going unit by unit, building by building, with the university police and the rest of the police officers, firefighters, EMS, and making sure that we don't have any additional victims and or subjects.
There have been no updates on the condition of the victims. The White House is accusing Republicans of holding Ukraine funding hostage over their demands for U.S. border policy changes.
Mostly cloud.
Apologies. That was supposed to be Karine Jean-Pierre, who says Republicans in both chambers are going with an all-or-nothing approach when it comes to immigration policies. Republicans are expected to vote no on a procedural vote to advance a bill from Biden that includes funding for Ukraine and Israel. One person has been arrested after a man was killed in a hit-and-run Tuesday evening. Sasha Nixon reports.
State police believe Gary Clark was trying to cross US 41 at Gilchrist Drive when he was hit by a Dodge Avenger. He died at the scene, and officers say the Dodge's driver left without calling for help. They later identified that driver as Cedric Rosette. He was arrested and taken to the Vigo County Jail, but at this time, it is not clear what could have led to Rosette hitting the man. Sasha Nixon, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
Former Vice President and Indiana Governor Mike Pence has been officially called as a witness by prosecutors in the Georgia election interference trial. Pence has said in the past that the election was not stolen, despite what former President Donald Trump has claimed. The average price you're paying for a gallon of gas in Indiana today, $2.98 for a gallon of regular, according to GasBuddy.com. It's below the national average of $3.19. And with traffic at 5:31, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, southbound 6570 downtown. That's a crash at Washington Street. It's blocking the right lane. It's made a mess of traffic here. Stopped into the north split. That is stopping westbound 70 before Rural Street into the north split. And southbound 65 also taking a hit slow. Stop and go from MLK to the north split. Now eastbound 70 is stop and go coming into downtown. That's from Tibbs Avenue to the South Split. You exit north, you're slow up to the Washington Street exit. Southbound 465 east side, stop and go from 72 Washington. It's a crash on the east side, 38th and Post. One on the north side, 86 west of Keystone. Traffic sponsored by Pierce Jewelers in Carmel. Whether you choose a mined or lab-grown diamond, let a Pierce Jewelers diamond engagement ring be that simple that says, I love you. Remember, shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers in Carmel. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
A dry and mostly cloudy night is ahead with lows falling into the mid-30s. Then for Thursday, lots of sunshine and much warmer with highs pushing into the mid-50s and wind gusts up to 20 to 30 miles per hour at times. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
It's Hammer and Nigel show. I'm Nigel. That's Jason Hammer right over there. We'll go to the hotline and bring on Tony Kinnett, host of the Tony Kinnett Cast, as well as investigative reporter for Daily Signal. Tony, the new article you have out is pretty eye-opening and somewhat terrifying, especially if you're a Jew living in America. You detail how Jews are having to basically change the way they dress and travel and worship for fear of persecution from these anti-Israel protests, pro-Hamas movement types. Can you dig down into the weeds a little bit? You give several examples of what's going on.
Yeah, so in states, not just in California and New York, where there are lots of examples, but even in Ohio, if a pro-Hamas group, usually around the universities, because it takes college-educated 20-year-olds to be this stupid, and if they catch a whiff of you being a Jew, they will desecrate Jewish cemeteries. They've spray-painted museums, broken windows. They have surrounded and harassed Jews until police have had to come escort them out. Places harboring the Jews while the pro-Hamas protesters laid siege to the building have asked the Jews if they wanted to hide in the attic. So definitely no references to World War II there. It's just very scary. Friends of mine who are Jewish have had to swap yarmulkes for baseball caps, the little head caps that a lot of Jews wear.
Oh, we had the story yesterday, Tony, of the student at Penn that held a press conference that was explaining some of the things that were happening to him as a Jewish student on these college campuses.
Yeah, and even a lot of Indiana police. So for example, Chris Radcliffe out in Henry County, he's giving safety classes and basically around the entire country. Jews everywhere, even those who were previously maybe anti-gun, are taking concealed carrying classes. They're getting guns for their home, for their family. They're training in self-defense, which I think is phenomenal. I think what better time to push the importance of making sure that you and your family stay safe than when you're targeted. And this is the norm. If you're a Christian or you're a Jew in this country, you do not enjoy the same political rights as those who are radical Muslims or those who are LGBTQ, and the letters go on and on.
But you can't even get the presidents of these universities to admit. Like, did you see the clip? We played it earlier. Representative Stefanik from New York. She was trying to get the presidents of Harvard, MIT, and Penn to say basically, no, it's not okay to call for genocide of the Jews on our campuses. And they couldn't do it. Their response was, well, it depends on what kind of context it's in. There is no context when calling for the genocide of Jews.
Honestly, it really does make me want to fly off the handle, but I'm not Rob Kendall. It makes my blood boil so much to see someone say, well, certainly you just don't like it when someone openly says, kill the Jews. You don't like that statement. They go, well, what's the context behind it? If you need context for someone saying kill all of this ethnicity, you're a clown. You don't belong around children. You don't belong around anyone in society. In fact, leave. I'll pay for your ticket out.
And a great point was made by that Penn student. When it came to COVID restrictions, these presidents, they were all about keeping the students safe. And if you dared not wear a mask, not get the vaccine, do the smallest thing that's a violation of their COVID protocol, the university came down with the power of a million hammers. But when students are walking around seeing swastikas on campus and being threatened in some cases by actual faculty members, they're turning a blind eye to it.
Oh, and don't forget, Jason, Do not forget that Kyle Kashev, survivor of the Parkland shooting, had his offer of admission to Harvard rescinded because an online chat Google Doc from when he was 14 was published in which Kyle Kashev had typed the N-word. So it's okay for pro-Palestinian protesters to get out there and say the K-word and call Jews horrible, awful, terrible names and, like you said, swing the swastika around. But if a boy says the N-word when he's 14 and he's a stupid young kid, all of a sudden that's disqualifying. This is the nation of double standard. Don't ever hire a Harvard graduate. Don't hire Ivy League graduates. Get rid of them. They're not worth it.
It's not only a nation of double standards, but it's a nation that's tone deaf. After the Christian school shooting in Nashville by a trans person, it was Karine Jean-Pierre mourning trans people. When you see gigantic anti-Israel protests, well, you got to watch out for Islamophobia. Islamophobia is a real problem. Last time I checked, I have not seen giant swaths of protesters shutting down bridges in protest of the Muslim community. Have you?
No, this reminds me of Norm Macdonald in the 90s when O.J. Simpson was, murdering people. And during his trial, people were saying, the gloves fit. This is all really bad. It's really bad that he murdered people. And then you started seeing the columns come out that were, well, have you ever thought how this whole trial makes O.J. Simpson feel? It's like, who cares? He killed his wife. What's wrong with you?
And it's, I think, important to point out, too, and this is a great reminder, OJ has blocked you, Tony Kennett, on Twitter.
What? Really?
That is true, yes. O.J. Simpson really does not like that I have called him out for, murdering people. Not for his driving habits, although really those aren't any better.
Chatting with Tony Kennett. He is the host of the Tony Kennett Cast every night, Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock here at 93 WIBC. He comes on right after we get off the air. The Washington Post, they are the latest media outlet to see their journalists go on strike. You put out an interesting tweet in regards to this, Tony. Lay out your thoughts on what you're seeing with a lot of these newspapers that have their journalists going on strike.
I love it. Everyone, if you can all just go on strike, it would just make me so happy because these left-wing journos, they're upset that, the paper's no longer paying for their cell phone plan like the Indy Star journalists were. And so they go on strike, and they're like, we're going to strike. Yeah, we're so strong. And then they realize nobody cared. Nobody actually pays attention to what these individual writers from these left-wing rags are writing. And as the Indianapolis Star journos found out, no one cares whether you're writing the piece or not. No one's reading the Indianapolis Star. The paper's hemorrhaging. It's what Washington Post is already figuring out. It's so funny to watch the hubris of these left-wing journos who think they are the defending light of American democracy. I love watching that bubble just get popped, like the moment that a kid arrives on a college campus and finds out he's not all that in a bag of chips. It's just so funny watching these left-wing journos who have ruined lives just be humbled and realize that they should learn to code or, get a real job.
Many of these are the same type of people that have that profile picture on social media where they're looking off in the distance away from the camera because they're the voice of reason in this crazy world, Tony.
It's just so amazing. I mean, I read these articles. I just start to tear up because some Indianapolis Star article, they're like focused 15 articles on a local library. It's just so brave. Oh my God.
Now, I know you
feel the emotion.
You pay attention to this kind of stuff. There's another local newspaper. I don't necessarily think it's a newspaper, local media outlet called Mirror starting here in Indianapolis. Does this do anything for you?
No, it's the new thing. So when you work for a failing newspaper and it's getting ready to close because Gannett hasn't made money in 10 years.
The Indy Star.
What you do is you start a little nonprofit, and it's with the same reporters, and it's got the same staff that are going to be writing the same garbage stories. And everyone's like, it's another nonprofit. State Affairs, Capital Chronicle, and now Mirror Indy. They're all the same thing. They have former left-wing journos writing for their paper or their publication. You're going to get left-wing articles. Guess what doesn't sell in Indiana? Really far-left garbage journalism. So mark my words, write it down. This is going to be another of the same lame publications. If I'm proven wrong, I will gladly come out and apologize. But no, this doesn't do anything for me. And in fact, I'm embarrassed that whatever corporate donor they found gave them money, because what a waste.
Find his work at dailysignal.com. You can find him on social media at The Tonus. Tony Kinnett is our guest, host of the Tony Kinnett Cast, weeknights here at 7 o'clock on 93 WIBC. Can you stick around for one more break, Tony? I want to ask you, I wanted to get your thoughts on last week's debate with Newsom and DeSantis, and then move ahead to tonight's GOP primary debate.
For sure.
All right, we'll be right back. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Are your health insurance premiums making you sick? George and Megan at yourcoverage.net can help. George and Megan have helped countless individuals and families save 30 to 60% on health insurance with superior coverage. George recently saved a family of four $800 a month with the Aetna Network $0 deductible and $0 doctor office copay plan. This is not a government-sponsored health insurance plan. So if you're uninsured, recently lost your job, on COBRA, or are paying extremely high rates for Obamacare or your work coverage, George and Megan will help you if you meet the flexible guidelines for health insurance. Yourcoverage.net will provide you the best coverage at the lowest rate. Their goal is to give you peace of mind and the utmost in healthcare. Go to yourcoverage.net and see for yourself, or better yet, call George and Megan at 1-800-491-5500. That's 1-800-491-5500. Or go to yourcoverage.net. That's yourcoverage.net, a premium personalized healthcare plan managed and designed by you, not the government.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These ideas were more than just a history lesson for a young Chuck Goodrich. They were a call to action. Growing up in Rowan, Indiana, Chuck took the principles of our nation's founding to heart, believing that in America, anything is possible. Chuck Goodrich was also raised with Midwestern values and learned about a strong work ethic and how to treat people with respect. While paying his way through Purdue, Chuck Goodrich earned an internship at Gaylor Electric. Now, 30 years later, Chuck Goodrich owns that same company and employs 2,000 people. A lot has changed for Chuck Goodrich. However, Chuck and his wife Tricia instill the same conservative values in their family as they place faith and family first. Now, Chuck Goodrich is running for Congress because he believes too many in Washington have forgotten the simple, common sense ideas that make America special. Chuck Goodrich, conservative Republican for Congress.
I'm Chuck Goodrich, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Go With Chuck Goodrich Committee.
We don't often talk about grief during the Christmas season, and yet Christmas can bring up memories that evoke pain and heartache because of the loss of a loved one. Hi, this is Pastor Micah Beckwith, and our Blue Christmas experience at Life Church is designed to give you a space to remember, to ponder, and to feel. If you're searching for healing this Christmas season, come to one of our Blue Christmas experiences and find a new freedom and joy during the holidays. Go to lcbluechristmas.com for times and locations.
Mow, dig, haul, lift. The versatile Kubota BX Series subcompact tractor does it all. Switching attachments is simple, and a smooth hydrostatic transmission makes for easy operation. The Kubota BX Series, rated #1 in durability and owner experience. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Stop by McAllister Machinery in Fishers and Indianapolis to see their full line of Kubota, or visit them online at McAllisterKubota.com.
UC Bank is committed to the communities we call home. Since we first opened our doors, we have reinvested in neighborhoods, one project at a time. With financial guidance and energetic volunteers, UC continues to build on more than 150 years of community commitment. UC Bank, building strong financial futures, one family, one street, one city at a time. Since 1868, member FDIC.
Sundown Gardens and Miss Sims are matching up to $2,000 in donations you make this week to the Salvation Army Radiothon on WIBC.com. Click the Denny Smith link by 6 a.m. on Friday to donate.
Cyber Monday is Dell's biggest sale of the year. Save on laptops like the XPS 13, engineered to do it all on the Intel Evo platform and more. Shop now at Dell.com/deals.
The latest local news, commentary from Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, Hammer and Nigel, podcasts. Listen to the station live, whenever, wherever, online at WIBC.com.
Matt Bear has a look at the roads.
This downtown crash on southbound 6570 of Washington Street has us backed up past Rural on 70 and past 29th Street on 65. Eastbound 70 jamming up Tibbs Avenue to the south is split. And on the south side, southbound 465 stop before 70 over to the White River. And westbound 465 is stop and go from 65 over to 31. Northbound 465 northwest side stop and go traffic before 86th Street up to 865 and a crash on the east side 38th Post. Traffic sponsored by Pierce Jewelers in Carmel. Show your true love and spoil her with that one special Christmas gift from Pierce Jewelers that says I love you. Remember, shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers in Carmel. I'm Matt Bear. Donate to my digital kettle for the Salvation Army Radiothon at WIBC.com.
36 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. My name is Nigel. Hammer's here. On the phone is Tony Kinnett, host of the Tony Kinnett Cast, investigative reporter for Daily Signal. Just briefly, real quick, I'm wondering if you put yourself through that debate last week between Gavin Newsom and Ron DeSantis. Quite frankly, I went into it with a negative attitude, but I actually started to enjoy myself. I don't know exactly what the purpose of what I was watching, what was happening last week, but your thoughts on the red states versus the blue state debate with Sean Hannity.
I think it was the most important debate that we have seen in 10 years.
Really?
I do.
More so than like a presidential debate, like, say, between Trump and Hillary or Biden and Trump?
Infinitely more important, even though I would put the Trump-Hillary debate where he said she would go to jail as a close second.
Yeah.
This was one of the most important debates. I think everyone should go back and watch it. It's on podcast. It's also on YouTube. You need to watch it because what was on display last Thursday was the fate of the United States. It's either going to go in one or two directions, and that's far more important than the presidency, is how states are governed. And what you saw were the two options.
Vivek Ramaswamy, he put out something this past week, and it's kind of a sensational headline, but I think there's something to it, that the United States right now is in a civil Cold War. Does that make sense to you, Tony?
I mean, he's not the first person to say that. He's like the sixth. I have kind of mentioned this before, but that's kind of Vivek Ramaswamy for me. He kind of regurgitates kind of ideas that were edgy 3 months ago and kind of just throws them out there. I hear his sentiment. I don't think it's as bad as he makes it out to be. If you log off of the computer, if you actually go outside and touch grass, you realize, no, we're not in a cold civil war. I do think that politically, we are very divided. I do think that in some parts of our country, things are very tense, but a cold civil war right now, I don't think we're there just yet.
Seems like the Democrats are pretty united. It's the Republicans that got a lot of friendly fire going on in their party.
Right.
So let's, we got 2 minutes here with Tony Kinnett. The debate tonight, four contestants, if you will, DeSantis, Haley.
It's like a game show.
Christie and Vivek. What are we expecting tonight? Are we going to learn anything new tonight?
Yeah, we're going to learn that Vivek and Christie should drop out already. I don't think that there's really any reason that either of them are up there. Vivek is running to be Trump's VP. He's not going to get it. It's going to be Haley. And so you're going to wander into this election with Trump, who's claiming to be anti-establishment, who will pick the VP establishment candidate. By the way, there's my prediction. Go ahead and write that one down now. DeSantis will get up and throw some punches. Christie will look really awkward. I honestly wish that Trump was on the stage because I would love to see him talk policy. I think that would be really good for his campaign, but, I don't make the rules.
Got about a minute left here, Tony. What's the political future of Ron DeSantis? Let's say that he rides this thing out, eventually drops out, finishes in second place, doesn't become the VP, his time's up as governor in Florida. What's the future for Ron DeSantis?
I don't have a solid clue. I don't. I think that there's a chance he might run again in 28. I have heard kind of interesting things kind of under the radar about maybe future aspirations for him regarding the Senate. I don't think that there's really any weight to those. I think that, honestly, DeSantis represents a third of the Republican Party, and there's really not a clear outlook as to what the next third looks. I think he should take Ronna McDaniel's job. He knows how to get people elected.
That's a great point.
Yep.
Great point.
What's coming up on the Tony Kinnett Cast tonight at 7 o'clock?
We've got a little bit on just the absolute goofiness of lib journos, dry humping everything in sight and acting sanctimonious online. So stick around for that.
The dry humping begins at 7 o'clock tonight here on 93 WIBC. Tony Kennett, we appreciate it, my man.
Thanks, guys.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey, Hammer, over here. Did you hear Bill Demery? He's our retirement guy. We're his clients. He's helping Indy residents add an instant 13% bonus on top of their retirement savings.
So, for every $100, you'll get an extra $13 on top.
Yeah, exactly. And it adds up. So you can get $13,000 for every $100,000.
That's a solid bonus.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say no to that at all.
13%, baby. And then you get an extremely competitive return year after year. Over the last 10 years, it's been like 7% and backed by one of the world's largest insurance companies.
So Bill Demery is your retirement guy. He's our retirement guy. How does somebody reach Bill Demery?
Really easy. 648-5120. That's 317-648-5120. It's not going to last long, so hurry. 317-648-5120.
Past performance is no guarantee of future returns.
When it comes to illegal immigration, there's only one true conservative running for U.S. Senate this year. That's Trump-endorsed Jim